All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your Saturday opening of your Alienware Arena Tournament. Today is the first of many days, 4 days, 2 weeks, 64 teams. My name is F. Dot, and I'm joined here by Kret.
Hey F. Dot, how's it going? Haven't casted with you in a while, and I can't wait to get back to the grind. And this is to whet our appetites for the upcoming tournament season. But make no mistake, this is going to be a very competitive event.
Yeah, what Kret is referencing, of course, is the upcoming season, season 2, technically. We're going to be testing out a long period of season followed by regionals, and then we're going to go on to playoffs, the whole 9 yards. But for right now, we're doing some arena stuff presented by Alienware. $10,000 on the line. I'm excited. Not your usual conquest. So we're going to see a lot of other teams. Don't worry. We still have your mainstays. We have Dignitas. We have, not SK Gaming. We have Dignitas. We have Cloud9. We have TSM. We have them absolutely all. They're ready to go. In addition to some of the other more arena-focused teams, Kret, we have teams like Superbia, teams like Rage, it's teams like that are more focused on the arena scene, as well as a large amount of individual players coming together with 4 of their friends and jumping into the fray. Arena's a lot different than the normal conquest that we see. So those big names that I mentioned that we saw in Atlanta at our recent launch tournament might not be the king of Supreme that we're used to seeing. Maybe it's just your friend Ryan that grabbed his 4 friends. Maybe it's Rage that's at the top of the arena ladder. Maybe it's Joe Schmo and Billy Bobby Boucher hanging out together, downloaded Smite, and we're here. So, Kret, what are you excited to see for this week?
You know, first of all, we did have an Alienware Arena Cup before, so Snipe won that. They took it over Superbia, who is the second place. Superbia now has 2 teams entered. You've got Superbia and Superbia Bros, so we'll be excited to see how they do. They're a European team, so we did have international finals. And of course, you do want to mention that there are going to be some international matches, which are certainly interesting when ping comes to account. Granted, there will be a lot of best of 3s starting at the round of 16. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. But I am excited to see if Snipe Gaming can once again claim the title of Kings of the Arena on the back of Incontinentia, who is really their arena strategy mastermind.
Yeah, Incon has a lot of experience elsewhere, and definitely did pay a little bit of attention to some of the other stuff as opposed to just Conquest. So very interesting stuff coming out from there. Going to see if Snipe can really do it. But right now, for the first match today, we're going to be taking a look at Pentablink, who we have seen in our weeklies here and there, and they're going to be fighting against Team Dauntless. What are you expecting out of Pentablink, or even Team Dauntless? I'm not too familiar, but are you expecting anything surprising out of these 2 teams?
You know, Pentablink is a team that's not afraid to try, I guess, non-standard strategies, innovative strategies, if you will.
There you go.
Conquest. And if they're willing to do that in Conquest, I think they're certainly willing to show us some interesting stuff in Arena. They like Kali as a hunter in Conquest. They like Nuwa. They're really not afraid to run these things. So in Arena, yeah, Nuwa. So, exactly. So we could see some really interesting picks going up against Team Dauntless, but you know, I'm not personally familiar with Team Dauntless, and I have to wonder if Pentablink is, and sometimes not knowing the team you're facing can be scarier than knowing who you're up against.
Oh, extremely. You know, sometimes when you see, you're like, oh my God, it's going to be Team Solo mid, Kret. I can't handle it. You know, that can psych you out mentally. But when you see a team of people that you are not familiar with at all, A, you can underestimate them very easily. And B, more importantly, Kret, it becomes a situation of, you know, I just don't know their tendencies. When you know you're playing against Snipe, you might be scared, but you know that Shing is going to be over-aggressive. You know that Allied is going to use those Apollo ults to dive 2 towers deep. You know it's coming, so you can play around that. If you've never heard of X420 no scope X69, you know, and he plays against you, well, do you know if he's going to be aggressive or passive? You don't really know. So it's very exciting, and I'm very interested to see what Team Dauntless can bring to the table. And that's really why I like watching this arena stuff, Kret. I like to see the new players that don't always come out for the Conquest matches. So I'm hype. I'm hype as hell. I'm ready to go crazy over $10,000.
Yeah, what a prize pool. Really showing us that arena is a competitive rule set, much like Conquest. And, you know, shout outs to Arena for doing that and bringing us a secondary rule set that's, I think, in some ways a little bit more competitive than Conquest, because Conquest, there's like 5 teams.
Yeah.
Arena, we've got 42 teams, and we're not going to count any of them out. I mean, when you go into a weekend Conquest tournament, you know, you've got your top 4, maybe 5, maybe 6, and you're saying, these are the teams that I expect to be able to make it to the grand finals. But in Arena, it's anybody's game.
Yeah, I mean, just as Vinda Bleak in chat is pointing out, it does have its own following, it has its own people that play it. There's an entire ranked ladder that a lot of people don't even pay attention to, with the exception of the people that do, and those that do. It's sort of like arena football in that regard. We're going to get pulled into our first match, so I'm very excited. We're going to be pulled in very soon, at the very least. And like I said, it's going to be Pentablink versus Team Dauntless. So Pentablink is going to be on the left-hand side of your screen once we eventually get in there, and Team Dauntless will be on the right side of your screen. For those of you unfamiliar, like myself, I'll give you a little bit of a background on Team, well, not a background, but who's playing. We have BYD, Sir Didymus, hello Kevin, Davidian, and Adderall Shaker making up Team Dauntless. So that'll be exciting to see. And we're going to see our bands. The first band coming out is Nemesis, and the second is going to be Zeus.
We're also going to have a Kumbhakarna ban. Kumbhakarna is not automatically banned, so Pentablink has chosen to remove him from the playing field. They don't want to deal with the new god, who's a little bit of a wild card. You don't know what he's going to do. You probably haven't practiced against him too much, so that's certainly worth removing. And it's going to be an Ares ban. Ares is, of course, very strong in Arena and worth removing. Now, the first pick goes to Pentablink, and I'm really interested to see what they're going to elect to pick up here.
And I spent a lot of time talking to Live Lunatic as they're going to take a look at Anubis, not lock him in just yet. But I went to PAX this past week, and I spent a lot of time talking to Live Lunatic, and you know he's got very, very high hopes for his team in the upcoming season. And you know something that really impressed me, Kret, is that he speaks like a veteran professional. Bastet gets locked in for the first pick for Pentablink, and you know Live Lunatic really knows the game in and out, Kret, and it really proved to me that the teams that aren't in the top 4 definitely can be. So this next upcoming season and this Alienware Arena tournament, I'm excited to look at teams like Pentablink, teams like I5 from the European region, and I really want to see what everybody that is in top 4 can bring to the table.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, and Pentablink is definitely one of those contenders. They're definitely outside the top 4 in North America, but they're not that far outside.
Exactly.
And they're a team where you look at them and you say, you know, maybe in a month, maybe with a roster change, maybe with a change of shot caller, or maybe with just a lot of practice, they could really be competitive. But we are going to have Bastet picked up. Bastet brings a lot to the table right now. She didn't get buffed in terms of numbers. She actually took a little bit of a nerf after last patch, but she did get buffed in terms of post-hit delay, in terms of the way the character flows. She now is just a lot cleaner. Your abilities come out when you really want them to, whereas before it was a little bit clunky, and that allowed a character that was already naturally strong to really come to the forefront. Yeah,
very true. You know, Bastet it just feels so smooth. And that's what I'm about. You know, quoting DM Brandon, one of the things that he loves about Smite is how fluid it feels. And you know, the quote that I like to use from him is water. A good game and a good character in a good game will just feel like water. And Bastet's at that point, and previously she really wasn't. So that fluidity is something that's really exciting, and that's something that Uller brings to the table as well. A good friend of mine calls him Marshmallow Mouth because it's so hard to say that. It's so hard to say his name, and he sounds like it when he gets picked. But he's very strong. Of course, he's going to be a hunter, so you're going to look for that late game basic attack type build coming out of Uller. But in the meantime, while that happens, you're going to see a lot of the 1.8 second stuns coming out from the axe throw, and a lot of the range damage coming out from Uller. So it's very, very exciting, and I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table in an arena. But Isis is going to be the difference maker for this team.
Yeah, I think Isis is really going to be a big force in team fights, rocking that beautiful Coven skin that just got released. And, you know, Circle of Protection is just such a strong ultimate. It can do so much damage. It mitigates damage with that 15% reduction, and then it heals back up. So when you see the Circle of Protection in the right spot, used properly, blowing up on the right targets, that's a really strong ultimate that really turns the team fights. But on Pentablink, you've got Freya and Ao Kuang.
Yep.
Two Titans of Arena, and then I'm sure Bastet is quite good. Odin, also very strong Arena champion. And Athena and Odin as a combo can be really good at taking down the backline. Odin's going to be able to build a mix between tank and damage that'll allow him to kill people within the ring. Athena's Defender Olympus can come crushing down, taking down that backline. I think you're going to see Ra really the target for that, but you did mention Isis, and Isis can do wonders against Odin with that circle protection inside the cage.
Yeah, you know, I think Odin, so when you think arena, you think Ares. You're like, okay, Ares will come through, he's going to be the arena master. Let's obviously bet. I think Odin, as we saw, Cret and I have casted, we've all seen the previous Alienware Arena tournaments, which are also hype as hell. The Odin is a very scary prospect. He's able to just jump in, do damage with his jump, because for some reason it's like 150 base damage at level 1. But more importantly is the ring. You take a look across the map, Bakasura, Tyr, and Uller can all get out, but Ra and Isis, the two squishier characters, are the ones that are not going to be able to get out. So I'm very excited to see Odin work against this team, because that ring does a lot.
Yeah, the other thing I just want to mention is Bakasura. Bakasura is a character that brings a ton of damage to the table. His steroid Butcher Blades gives you 30 physical power and then 70 true damage, so when it's combined, that's an extra 100 damage, which is absolutely huge. If Baka can get on the right targets, he could really tear through Pentablink, but the problem is actually doing that, and that's going to come down to Sir Didymus's personal skill. So it's going to be an interesting matchup of team strategy, team synergy, and personal skill. Team Dauntless going up against Pentablink in our round of 64.
Yeah, that's what we're going to see, and we're actually going to cut right to the action. We'll see you after a brief break. Stay tuned right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back into the action for our first game of the day and our first game of the entire Alienware Arena tournament. It's going to be multiple weeks, multiple matches, multiple days, but right now, just two teams. On the left-hand side of your spectator screen, in the blue, is going to be Pentablink. We've seen them, and now we're seeing them in the arena. Pi6561 on the Odin Live. Lunatic going to be rocking that Athena. Ninja Sniper on the Noodle, otherwise known as Ao Kuang. Mystics on Freya, and Berserker Fear on the Cat.
On the other side of the map, it's going to be Team Dauntless. That's going to be Sir Didymus on Bakasura, Adderall Shaker on Isis, Davidian on Ul, Hello Kevin on Ra, and Awibid on Tyr. So the first thing you want to talk about in Arena is how they're going to get these buffs. It looks like Pentablink is going to be taking two buffs at the same time. Same thing on Team Dauntless. But Team Dauntless accidentally reset the red buff. That's going to slow them down and will allow Pentablink to get to that middle lane as a team a little bit quicker.
Yeah, immediately we're going to see the tornado come down out of Ninja Sniper. That's going to get a bunch of last hits. We see a little bit of early aggression coming out from Bastet. Decent amount of poke. That's half a life bar to Adderall Shaker, so already halfway down. Live Lunatic going to grab a perfect taunt, but not too much we can do there. A lot of these teams are probably going to be looking for their level 5 to get their ultimates before they really go knee-deep into these team fights.
Yeah, really the hard CC for Pentablink is going to be that Athena taunt. And the follow-up is really going to be that Spirit's Tempest. Until that point, they don't really just pack enough CC. Athena can taunt someone, but that's sort of the setup. They just don't really have a good way to lock them down and secure that kill. So now it's just farming up the creeps and perhaps carving out an early advantage by doing a better job of last hitting. As when creeps die to other creeps, you don't get tickets. When you last hit, that's when you get tickets.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess we should outline what Arena is all about. Unlike Conquest, it's much less objective-based. It's all about the 500 tickets you start at for both teams, and those tickets slowly go down. Things that can remove tickets. Last hits on minions. Minions reaching the enemy portal, but right now we have the Ring of Spears coming down from Odin. In addition to that, Ice's ultimate. Getting so low is that rock. He's gonna go
Baka
down.
in the backline. Alcong also on trouble. Odin falls, and this is looking really bad for Pentablink. Davidian with the double. First blood.
Live Lunatic's gonna get caught out in the back from Davidian, and my BYD is gonna get taken down with the ultimate. Thought he was gonna get away right there, Cred, but Mystic still had Valkyrie's discretion and was able to pop up and take him down. That looked like a 2 for 2, if I'm not mistaken, but both teams about even here at the 2-minute mark.
That's actually going to be a 3 for 1. Really,
wow.
really good trade for Team Dauntless. Yeah, it didn't look like it because the flight was a little bit spread out, and there was that return kill at the end, but Pentablink really killed it there.
Yeah, our tickets are hidden from the UI at the moment, so we're not going to be able to see them in this match specifically, but we'll be able to feel it as both teams get a little more cautious. We'll see just how low those tickets go. Once again, as I stated before, it starts at 500 and it ticks down to 0. The first team to 0 loses, so you don't want to get there anytime soon.
Yeah, gotta be wary. And, you know, it's also important to mention that creeps stop giving tickets, or stop taking away tickets, their deaths. Stop doing that at 10 tickets.
Yeah.
It's only the big minion at that time, so you can choke out your opponent, but that 10-minute mark really makes it a tooth and nail fight to end the game, and that's really when you see a lot of teams going all in after playing cautious. Speaking of all in, it's Pentablink with the ring. Circle protection is down, but Spirit Tempest is going to come through, and Ninja Sniper snipes down Team Dauntless, but they're turning on Pentablink's back line.
Yeah, Bakasura is stuck out in the middle of nowhere, leaving with about 10% HP, but the Fearless coming after the Lawbringer. Not quite there, must not know its cooldowns, but 4 members of Team Pentablink are wounded and walking away. Tears caught out. Here comes the Bandage. We're going to miss a couple of things, but the Fearless, not good enough. Mystic's going to secure yet another kill onto YBD. Great play right there.
Yeah, really nice from Pentablink. That's going to tie it up 4 kills to 4 kills, and when you see this wave clear, it's actually probably going to be in favor of Pentablink. That's a lot of tickets on the table.
Really is. That's going to be a bunch of tickets, and it's stunting the tier's growth as well. Really fantastic. So we're going to see something work out like that as the game goes on. Tier's going to want to be a little more careful, as a couple of his deaths have come from being over aggressive. The double lift coming out of Mystics right there, not going to secure much damage, but getting rid of the jumps. Now Tier going to secure a Fearless, but not much to be written about.
Yeah, you know, Athena in this game mode is going to be built very tanky. Highly Urchin already with 3 stacks. You will not be seeing Live Lunatic go down very easily at all. So Tyr just kind of getting the Fearless there, like, hey, can we do anything with this? And I think from the first tick of damage, she realized that Athena just was not going to fall.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear that Athena's already...
Oh, but on the left-hand side, Mystic's in a lot of trouble. Odin coming to try and save him out. The ring is available, has not been dropped yet. He's just trying to run away. Will jump. Baka giving chase. Will not find Mystics going into the air, but it's the Lawbringer coming through. Live Lunatic caught out, but he's not worried.
Yeah, he's gonna be just fine right there. As you mentioned before, already pretty tanky. Live Lunatic with the Urchin already built up, building into those magic shoes. Probably gonna be cooldown, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were penetration, as Athena does bring a lot of damage to the party. Essentially, when she creates it with that ultimate defender of Olympus, stomps down usually over 1,000 damage if she has just 1 or 2 damage items. So I love to see the hybrid builds in Arena. Sometimes you have more than one role, and Athena is definitely one of those gods where you can do multiple things.
Yeah, but one of the best builds I'm seeing right here is the regular blink on Isis. When Odin blinks in or jumps in and rings, it does not put you in combat, which means you can jump right out. But Admiral Shaker, he can't blink right now. He's going to be in a fair amount of trouble, but Tyr on the backline, aggressing on the Pentablink as well, and it seems like Dauntless is safe for now. They're going to turn on Pi, and giving chase, it's the Raw Snipe into Bakasura jumping in, but Tyr falls in the back.
Yeah, Bastet's gonna juke all the way out with the return pounds with Sir Didymus on his back, left clicking to victory, but not too much going on right there. He's gonna bring down Sir Didymus as 4 of them surround him, very, very unceremoniously bringing down the Bakasura.
Yeah, Bakasura will fall in the back. They're getting a little bit over aggressive, and that's sort of the problem. Is he's using his jump to chase right now, which is really important for him to be able to get those kills, but then he has no way out, so he has to be really aware of the map, and likely his team, such as Isis and Ull in the back looking down the field, will have to communicate to him when he needs to back out, otherwise he will get picked off in that fashion.
Now the Bastet's looking for something as well. Ice is gonna go give a nice spirit ball, no stun, but just enough to force them off. Now Bakasura is back up in the front line, trying to cause some damage. His ultimate is already out. Great stun coming out from Isis, and the Eternal Dragon is gonna miss. So no damage right there coming out of Ao Guang, and no follow-up after the Isis stun. So 2 disengages coming out from both teams, Pentablink and Dauntless, and now we have another engagement.
Yeah, it looks like Berserker Fear and Live Lunatic looking for a chance to kill Admiral Shaker. They didn't find it, but Mystics will be stunned out in a little bit of a tough spot. Does have Valkyrie's discretion if he needs it, and Odin will be able to peel, but the snipe, you can't peel that. And now Lawbringer coming through. Berserker Fear falls as well. Beautiful play from Dauntless, securing 7 kills against only 6 from Pentablink. They're looking good so far, but still behind in tickets.
Yeah, they're down a little bit. We do have the tickets at the top now, so we should be seeing 333 to 326. Pentablink in the lead as far as that's concerned by about 8 tickets, but of course that's going to fluctuate with these last hits on the minions. But that's the story of the game right now. The first to 0 tickets will lose. And the things that can remove the tickets are last hits on minions, minions making it to the center of the portal, and kills as well. How many tickets per kill, Krat?
It's 5 tickets per kill, but hold on, Live Lunatic, he's looking for one of those. The Tornado on top, the Spirit Tempest will not connect, but Admiral Shaker gets annihilated nonetheless, and Pentablink, happy with that one, will just disengage.
Yeah, it's going to be great. They got what they wanted. They got a single kill, and that's really the key to Arena, and I mean, most fights in general. Another good taunt and another good shield wall coming out, bringing down Sir Didymus to about half HP with the help from the bleed out of the cat. But here comes a Blink Fearless. Great beads to follow up. No Fearless for you today, Tyr, as Athena and Mystics just walk away. But now Pi's kind of caught out with the Isis stun, but he's still Odin, so he's just going to press the W key.
Yeah, but let's talk about another way that you can remove tickets from your opponent. It's going to happen in 3 kills for either team. It's the payload. They spawn, the siege tower moves its way across the field, and if you get it into the enemy's portal, that's 10 tickets gone, which is worth 2 kills. It can be a very strong way to get an advantage over the enemy team, but it takes a lot of teamwork to get it into that portal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we saw the entire Alienware, the last Alienware Arena tournament. I think we only saw 1 payload reach the portal at all. It's such an important objective that both teams are hyper aware of it. It's going to go down almost always, barring some sort of play focused around the payload. So that's definitely very interesting, cooler play right there to happen. And a great stun from Admiral Shaker to prevent what could have been an easy death for Mystics.
Yeah, you really have to strategize, but Ninja Sniper, okay, beads will get him out of that one. Nice Tyr Fearless nonetheless. As I was saying, you have to strategize around the payload. It spawns when you get that 10th kill, and generally after getting a kill, you've just used ultimates. You've just taken a lot of damage. You have to back off, and the payload starts chugging up the field. That can be a really difficult time to group up and push forward.
Yeah, that's the time to push forward, and it's all about the synergy. Speaking of the synergy, a triple taunt is going to be good. Berserker Fear is going to get the kill onto Admiral Shaker. 2 members of Team Dauntless are left undaunted, walking away with about 1% HP. The cats are out and the bleeds are good. Is it going to be enough to take down Tyr? Just to make sure, in comes the Freya, and now you have Bakasura chewing up the front line, chewing up the back line. He's going to fall in the back as well.
Yeah, he was trying to chew up everyone, but Pentablink just turned on him, and like a beat grinder, they chewed him up. But it's gonna be a double beam kill. Hello, Kevin shows up, and here it is. The payload moving up the field, but it's gonna get stopped out by Tier, and you're just gonna see it get burned down by Team Dauntless.
Yeah, this is exactly what we talked about. So should this reach the portal, it is a plethora of tickets for the team that makes it reach the portal, but usually you see it fall down very, very quickly. It moves forward when it's escorted by members of the team that it comes out of. Mystic's gonna get the kill in the back as they're looking at the payload. The payload's gonna fall as predicted, ladies and gentlemen, but worth noting it did pass the proverbial 50-yard line in the middle. We're gonna see another kill by Mystics. Great power coming out of Freya, and now Dauntless needs to start to respect that as the Ring of Spears go down, and Adderall Shaker goes down as well.
Yeah, it's really Freya o'clock. Mystics is online with that Fatalis, Demonic Grip, Polynomicon. That's really when Freya becomes a pure powerhouse. So you're gonna see Mystics being the real threat for Team Dauntless right here. They need to figure out how to kill that Freya, and so far, they've only figured out how to do it 3 times. That's the most deaths on Pentablink, but it's not enough. This is Freya, and she is one of the strongest characters in Arena.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it happens. We're sitting here at just underneath the 12-minute mark. Pentablink is in the lead by 39 tickets. That's a substantial lead at this point in time, and it's probably only going to be extrapolated. Gold is almost irrelevant as our kills, but right now, Krat, this is what we're talking about, the Freya. Earlier in the game, you know, she kind of poked and did a couple of banishes, and you're like, oh, that's cute. She's setting up for her teammate, but now look at her chew through this tier. That is so much damage. She, as you said, is online. It's Freya o'clock. I gotta use that in my music cats. But now comes the Big Brother Dragon. Triple kill. Double kill right there. They're gonna take it into the YBYD. That's gonna be the tier death sooner or later. Gonna bring him down. Mystic's gonna get the Vidian in the back on the Uller. Great play right there coming out of the Freya. And now Sir Didymus is giving chase on the Aguan.
Yeah, Alkwong in a lot of trouble, will get sniped down by Hello Kevin and Mystics. He's trying to survive against Adderall Shaker in a really bad spot. The beam will find him. Hello Kevin once again securing the double. Really doing a good job keeping his team in this game. They are behind, but it might not be enough to stop that last 10 ticket versus 10 ticket standoff.
Hello Kevin has been absolutely lights out. Right now, Pie caught lights out with no thing to his name. Gonna just drop immediately. Able to drop the ring, but that's about it. The payload's already at half HP for Team Dauntless. Pentablink is gonna take that down, no problem. The Batset's gonna jump back in and jump out. Great defensive advantage coming out of Mystics right there to prevent his teammate from being chewed to pieces from the Bakasura. And now Tier is all by himself, but he's gonna fearless back into his team to get away from that.
Yeah, double taunt, Spirit Tempest will connect. Hello Kevin in a bad spot, and here comes the Freya damage. Force the combat blink away. Adderall Shaker getting very low, and now it's just the front line Tier, but he's gonna jump in, will not find anything. Mystics fighting Bakasura, not hitting those autos, but Odin blinks in, and that will be enough to secure. But I do want to talk about this Odin for a moment. He died, he dropped the ring, and that ring secured the death of the payload. That was actually really worth.
Yeah, no, definitely. The payload was stopped going forward by the Ring of Spears, and the rest of the team was able to bring it down. Great job right there. And we do see the combo that Team Pentablink was looking for the entire time. The taunt into Eternal Spirit Dragon has worked out, I think, 3 times now, Kret. That's when your combo, when you're anticipating. A lot of times you go into these arena modes and you have an anticipated combo, and that's sort of like winning the lottery. And when it doesn't work, you have a backup plan. Well, that's the anticipated combo, and they're nailing it. Lights out play from both Athena and Algua.
Yeah, they're really, really nailing that one. And now it just comes down to constant pressure. They want to keep this 60-ticket lead, roughly, when they get down to that 10-ticket mark, which means they can't give anything to Team Dauntless. If Pentablink just farms out, they will be in a substantial advantage when hitting that final countdown. And that's really what they want to be doing. And with Ao Kwang, they can totally play defensively, but they're going to try that combo again, and it's going to be Adderall Shaker. He's able to use stroke protection, but it's not enough. And now in the backline, you do see Bakasura looking for Ao Kwang. Spirit Tempest will annihilate him. Ninja Sniper, true to his name.
That Spirit Temp is hitting for over 1,000 at the moment. Great play right there. And a lot of it is from the penetration we see from his third item, Spear of the Magus. It's a great item, especially on Ao Guang, who has a damage over time ability. What it does is penetration per spell you cast. It's going to be 10 and an additional 10% for 5 seconds, maxing up to 2 stacks. So that third item, Spear of the Magus, is going to do a lot of damage, cutting through the enemy's defenses.
Now there we did see another payload coming out from Pentablink. They used it as an opportunity to back safely because all of Team Dauntless had to turn and kill it. Pentablink was simply able to back off, return to base, buy up, and it is important to note they are sitting up 4,000 gold, which is really quite a lot for an arena match. Live Lunatic once again going in.
Yeah, Live Lunatic is the brains behind this operation, or at least the initiator in this operation. Getting out those charge and taunts is so great, and has confirmed a lot of kills for his team, Pentablink, right here, and partially the reason they're in the lead. A missed lift is going to be to a missed opportunity, but here comes the taunt. The Spirit's Tempest is just barely going to miss, and now you have a real even fight as Pentablink wasn't able to delete a character before the initiation, and they're going to look to actually back off after that.
Yeah, and that's really smart. There's no need to give up a kill. They don't need to get risky and create a lead. They're in the lead, and they can just play it. They can farm it out. It is just really the best strategy at this moment. But keep looking for kills. If you can safely make your lead bigger, go for it. And right now, when Live Lunatic charges in, he's looking for the taunt. Pentablink looks for the follow-up. If he doesn't get it, no big deal. They're not going to kill this Athena.
That's really, really, really true. Built Urchin, which has to be stacked up probably to the max at the moment. Mystical Mail, Voidstone, building Steel Mail into what could be a... What do you think the Steel Mail is going to be built into, Kret? Sovereignty?
Yeah, it should be a Sovereignty. It's a little bit late for that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I really would like to see something earlier. 20 protection for your entire team is a big deal. Admiral Shaker forced to use beads there to get out. And, you know, Live Lunatic can just pop beads all day. He's got, what, a 15-second cooldown on his initiation. Beads is 90. That's looking good. But Team Dauntless, they're looking for the fight. And it's going to be that Bakasura on the back line. He's going to get erased. Live Lunatic taunt, Freya, kill.
Yeah, now they're looking at the tier. The lift is good. I know the taunt is waiting. Not quite there yet. The Fearless going to miss everyone, but the basics out of Mystics are not. Also, Uller jumping around in the air. Mystics bringing him down with a double kill. Hello, Kevin. Not going to be apt to die another day. But here it comes, getting gun gear smited. And a great stun out of Isis is going to make Live Lunatic back out. He's going to die for his actions. A little over-aggressive there, Kret. But they still got more than they gave.
Yeah, Pi is in a lot of trouble. Will get taken down by Tyr. It's going to be Team Dauntless looking for more, but Sir Didymus is getting not annihilated. He's able to slip out of there with about 50 health.
Yeah, just barely escaping there, but there goes the battle. Team Dauntless is going to be the first team to fall. Pentablink taking the victory for our first game of our Alienware Arena Tournament. This, of course, is a best-of-1 series all the way up until the later matches. So, one team is going home, and that's Team Dauntless, but Pentablink will continue to play.
Yeah, Pentablink really played it well as a team. Their kills are mostly spread out. Now, naturally, you see them concentrate a lot on Ao Guang and Freya, as those really were the damage of the operation. But Berserker Fear actually was the highest damage on the team on this stat. You know, I didn't really notice it. Yeah, totally believable, but like, when you're watching the team fights, it's the Freya Pulse Irradiate that's carving through people. It's the Spirit Tempest absolutely flattening Bakasura. And yet, Berserker Fear, with his constant pressure and his sustained damage on basically anyone he could get his hands on, will take top damage for his team. But, you know, you still got to give it to Live Lunatic. He was always a threat to Team Dauntless, and it was like every 15 seconds he tried to start a fight, and about every 30 seconds he got a kill off of it.
Oh yeah, I think Pentablink played this. Everybody played exactly the way they're supposed to. You know, Bastet quietly reached top of the player damage because that's exactly what Bastet's supposed to do. Supposed to pounce in, hit Razor, and then leave, and that's pretty much it. And you know, Live Lunatic got exactly what he wanted to do: get in there, get a multi-taunt, and maybe Ninja Sniper would be able to erase them with the Eternal Dragon. Mystics just always doing massive damage, and Pi, we got a Ring of Spears, Kret. I think that's pretty much the bill for what each player is supposed to do on that team.
Yeah, I mean, Pai's Ring of Spears was really his job, but he made it work. A lot of early kills coming out from that Ring of Spears into the Defender of Olympus combo, but for the most part, that wasn't the combo they used. And you talked about the anticipated combo and then your backup plan. There were two of those anticipated combos. You had the Odin Ring of Spears into Athena ult combo. You had the taunt into Spirit's Tempest, and then you just had a cleanup crew of Bastet and Freya. Really great play from Pentablink. Who's our next matchup?
Our next matchup is going to be Team Capricorn against, let me check the, just want to check out the, it's going to be Capricorn Crew against Endless Abyss. That's what we're going to take a look at next. But real quick, before we wait and get that match started, I want to mention the Alienware Smite Pro Session Sweepstakes. If you go right now, if you go to alienwarearena.com, on the front page, there's a contest that you have to sign up for. Spoiler alert, I already signed up. I might win over you. It's the ability, you get drawn into a random drawing. It'll be picked out on April 28th. What this is, it gives you a session. I think it's a 1 or 2 hour session to train under the likes of Lazes, Lobster, Suntouch, these Zapman, Young Bay, or Sile the Mustache Man himself. Sign up, and once again, on April 28th, the winners will be announced, and you could be one of those learning under one of the pros. For now, we're going to cut to a brief waiting screen while we wait up for Capricorn Crew and Endless Abyss to get started. For Cret, my name's F. Stay tuned. And we're back. My name's F. He's Cret. We're back for our... He's Cret. We're back for the second match of the day. It's going to be Team Capricorn versus Endless Abyss. I don't know why Endless Abyss wasn't, the Abyss wasn't on the waiting screen, but it is Endless Abyss. Now, I think I've heard through the rumor mill, through the grapevine, that we have some familiar faces on Capricorn.
Yeah, we're going to see, Chixie and a lot of other high-level EU players. Vasterkal is, at one time, was the single highest win player.
Wow.
In all of Smite, has the most wins. I don't know if that's still the case, but that's a really, really good thing to have.
I didn't even know that, but I have seen Vasterkal. He played for I5?
He played for Heroes and Zeros in last weekend's Conquest tournament.
Way
back when, he was on Borderland Gaming EU.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about. And I've seen him, and he does a lot of work. Vatrical he's a scary guy. So I'm pretty excited to see what he can bring to the arena table.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I believe he is Diamond in Arena, so certainly will know his stuff when it comes to Arena.
Oh, right.
We might actually see some of those more complex Arena strategies that you see from some of the higher level teams, like the clearing all 3 camps at the same time at level 3. Can be really, really interesting strategies could come out in this game.
Yeah, we see a lot of cool stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, Arena is, from the surface, seems like just kill the other dude, get tickets, but it's a little more complex than that. You have buffs, you have last hits, you have things that you can do to tilt the scales in your favor. And if there's one phrase that gamers like, it's min-max.
Yeah, you can really min-max the way you approach Arena. That's why characters like Ao Kuang are such high priority picks. The secondary Ao Kuang, the second best clearer is going to be Poseidon, and they really do fill similar roles of having a big scary ultimate and clear the wave real good. And having one of those on your team is a big advantage, so it's something that a lot of teams are looking for. We did see the massive minion kill difference in our last game.
Oh, yeah.
But you gotta wonder, Team Capital has some really great players. Are they going to go for a very player skill intensive matchup, so characters like Tyr, characters like Scylla, that are a little bit harder to play, but can really bring a lot to the table?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I want to see if, what I want to see, Cret? I want to see if AMC makes it into the arena, as I do know that's one of Chixie's favorite gods. She loves to buzz around, but we're being pulled in right now. Our first ban is going to be Nemesis, somebody that's always scary.
Yeah, Nemesis is really scary, and then, I mean, Freya ban, also definitely worth banning. We saw what Freya could do last game, so that's definitely worth talking about. But, you know, also last game, we saw the Kumbhakarna ban. You gotta wonder, are we gonna see him banned or played this game?
Yeah, I'm definitely really excited to see the Kumbhakarna ban and what goes on. But we saw last game how much work Freya can do. She's got a 57% pick ban rate, so not as high as you would expect, but definitely banned after all the crazy damage and destruction she pulled last game. Nobody wants a piece of that, not even Capital.
And speaking of crazy damage and destruction, let's talk about Zeus. Perhaps the king of crazy damage and destruction will be banned out, not available for play, but right now we do have a hover on Nuwa.
Nah.
Likely just a troll.
Yeah.
I think Nuwa's playable in Arena. I mean,
Nah.
the box is a great team fight ultimate. She does have a range stun, but certainly not first pick. Bastet looks a lot more likely.
Yeah, Bastet was first pick last game. Gonna be first pick this game as well. You know, Bastet's ability, and I said it before in the post game of the first match that we looked at, Kret, her ability to get in and out very quickly while still doing damage because she's focused on damage over time with that Rager Claws. It's just so potent in an arena where you don't really want to get in the middle of anything too much. You'll kind of just get tore up. So you want to get in, get out, or do damage from a distance. And that's what Bastet brings to the table, and she pretty much nailed it. Ao Guang and Chak are going to be locked in for the Capital crew.
Yeah, Chak is just such a powerful character. We've already seen Ao Guang, we've already seen what he can do, but Chak, you've got that great team fight silence, you've got consistent poke, you just talked about damage from range, and Thunderstrike will certainly do that, and he's got a lot of mobility, self-sustain, very hard to kill, and Shin's is still a good item. It got changed, but it's still good, and it's still going to be a great source of damage, but Ares, Bacchus, two very, very strong frontline picks coming out on Endless Abyss.
Yeah, Bacchus just does so much damage, and Ares, of course, the very obvious king of crowd control, or at least, the chains and no escape can do a lot, provided the other team doesn't all build beads and Magi's, which I would expect coming out of Capital crew. You know, we talked about the obvious bans, the Nemesis, the Zeus, and the Freya, but I find it odd as we see Tyr and Athena locked in on the other side that we didn't mention maybe the not so obvious bans. Kret, to you and I, as we've seen a lot of competitive arena, we know the power that Xbalanque has. He's a top pick, top ban when it comes to arena. Why don't you shed a little bit of light onto that, as some of our viewers might be a little confused by a Xbalanque ban?
Well, you know, Xbalanque is not about shedding light. It's about the opposite. It's about the darkness.
Yep.
That ultimate really allows you to control the initiation of a team fight, because it doesn't matter what level you play at, you're still going to go, I can't see my team. You're going to play a little bit more passively. The better players will always stutter step the stun, as there's a frame where if you're not moving, you don't get stunned, and it's literally a frame. You can perfectly stutter step it,
yep.
But that ultimate is still strong, and he brings a lot of damage to the table, so definitely worth banning. But we're going to have Poseidon and Hoon bots, and once again, strong team fight ultimates coming out there, and there's an interesting dynamic here. Capital crew is not ultimate dependent. They've got Stormcall and Shock, which is great, but he doesn't need it. They've got Spirit's Tempest on Ao Guang, which is great, and he uses it a lot, but he still does great damage without his ultimate. So if Capital crew can make Endless Abyss use all their ultimates without losing more than one person and then re-engage very, very hard, they could really clean up.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw the danger that is Athena Ao Guang combo, using that Eternal Dragon. So even though most of these characters aren't ultimate dependent, the ultimate coming out from Ao Guang is going to be absolutely incredible. Speaking of ultimates, though, we do have Poseidon on the other side. We do have an Intoxicate from Bacchus. We do have a Fear No Evil from Hunbat. So these are very, very powerful ultimates.
Yeah, and we also need to mention Ares. Ares' ultimate No Escape can pull up to 5 people. It probably would pull more if you could have more people there, but in this game mode, it's going to be 5. Next to him, stuns them for increased duration based on how many people are pulled does a pretty decent amount of damage and will be up every 90 seconds starting at level 5, which means Capital Crew is going to have to pay the Ares tax. You have to get beads or you die. And you're going to have to invest heavily into actives in order to basically not feed.
Yep.
That's going to be gold going towards that tax that's not going into your builds.
It's very true. It's not just beads, but it's also Magi's. You're probably going to need both because you're looking at not just the no escape coming out of Ares, but the fear no evil coming out of the monkey. You know, intoxicate isn't. It's the longest crowd control in the game, but it's probably not worth beadsing or using Magi's for. But fear no evil and no escape are just so table turning. That you need as much defense against that as possible. If you just compare the two teams on the base, I mean, Bacchus Ares is just so much more tanky than simply Athena. Although with Wukong, Chalk, Athena, Tyr, I think Capital Crew has the tanks in the bag.
Yeah, they really do. They have the option to play 4 Protect Squad. And just have Chixie on Alquam really be their damage and carry them through. Or they could just go for the aggressive front line, have Alquam in the back tossing out tornadoes to zone, Spirit's Tempest when targets are CC'd, but really looking to create a meat grinder out of an incredibly strong front line. I mean, Shock, Tyr, and Sun Wukong are very powerful bruisers that do a lot of damage. And Athena, I mean, we've seen Lassus play jungle Athena. That can do a lot of damage too, especially if Capital Crew can keep people in that shield wall. That's going to be a really, really good tool. But we'll see if Capital Crew can make that happen against Endless Abyss's very strong ultimate-centric composition in just a moment. Stay tuned for our second match of the day.
All right, and we're back. We are back. We are back. It's Endless Abyss versus the Capital Crew. Of course, that is left to right on your screen. Endless Abyss being made up by an Ares, played by Bear King. A Shayuni on the cat that is Bastet. Fleshcut playing the Bacchus, the Bacchus. Kurokin on the Poseidon, and Belgabad on the monkey.
On the other side of the map, it's going to be the Capital Crew. We've got Chixie on Alquan, Vastrikal on Sun Wukong, Odrish on Tyr, Lennox on Chalk, and Chillin on Athena. And I do want to mention, Vastrikal has opted to go for a Death Toll on Chalk, which is actually a really strong item early on, but he will be lacking in movement speed, made up for by sprint and speed buff. I actually really like how he's planned out this start.
Now, why is that? I mean, I like he's probably going to move into the heavenly agility on that Wukong. It's going to be a good pickup, but why do you like it so much early on?
Well, Death Toll is just a really good item. It's very cost efficient. It gives you some great stats. I mean, that 100 health is great, or 90 health is great. 3% attack speed should not be underestimated. 15 damage is pretty good. And with speed buff and sprint, he's not going to really be going slow. In fact, with speed buff, he's only 2% slower. Will engage in Bear King. The Ares is in a lot of trouble. Vastrikal gets first blood. And you see the first level 5 on the game on Vastrikal. Also level 5 on Chixie. Now Lennox. And now it's just all of Capital Crew. They just dinged 5 and they are ready to go.
Everybody's 5 in the entire game at the moment. We're going to see a good clear coming out from both sides. You have the Whirlpool and the Tornado. The Tornado, of course, is going to wind up doing more damage in the late game, but the Whirlpool really does what it's supposed to do and clears the wave pretty efficiently. So, no harm, no foul there, right there, Krat.
Yeah, you know, and like we did mention before the game, Poseidon is the alternative to Alquang, sort of the second fiddle, as Alquang is the best player. But here comes Ares, he's gonna blink in, beads are activated, and Vastrikal's ult also goes down. Ares will be able to just walk straight out of there. But, you know, beads are gonna be down for 3 minutes on 2 targets. That ultimate from Vastrikal is gonna be 110 seconds as opposed to Ares 90. He does not have CDR boots yet, so not gonna see that 70. And the next pull actually could connect.
Yeah, the next pull is what he's going to be looking for. Of course, the blink is going to be up, and it's only rank 1, so it's going to be up in 90 full seconds. It goes down from 90 to all the way down to 45. Should he rank that up to rank number 3? So that's something that Ares is going to be looking for almost immediately. What would you rank of more importance the max rank Blink or the CDR?
I think it's going to be the CDR. I mean, blinking and using chains is nice and all, but it's really the ultimate that is what you're talking about when you're playing Ares. But you do have to be careful, as there are some compositions where Ares blinks in, starts his ultimate, and then dies.
Yeah, it's very, very easy for that to happen. Although with a team like this right here, Cret, they're not exactly focused on burst damage on the Capital crew. They're focused more on withstanding damage, sustaining damage, and making sure Chixie can do what she wants to do on that as well. So beautiful tornado right there, going to catch up all the minions in that, get the last hit on virtually everything, and a little bit of cleanup coming out from Endless Abyss is going to make sure that they get virtually everything as well. So pretty much tit for tat right here, Cret. Sitting at 436 to 436, pretty even, and out comes the first real aggression right here. That's just going to be another backup. So waiting for the first fight to really happen. I think that's going to happen the next time No Escape comes up, which should be rather soon.
Yeah, Ares is looking for it. He wants the blink here. He's not going to find anyone and will be backing up. Chixie does have that Magi Blessing, so Ares will never, or likely never, pull that out. Fong is, I believe Whirlpool is really their best way to break that from range. But here comes the damage. Spirit Tempest connecting onto only Bacchus. Lennox receiving Defender Olympus will not connect on that, but here's the No Escape. It will pull the Athena. Fear No Evil comes out. That's going to be another death. And Capital Crew, they're just retreating. They don't really have... Oh, no, it's going to be a Tornado taking down Kurokin in the back, combined with Otterish on that Fearless combo. Nice turnaround. 1-for-1 is certainly nothing to really be sad about, because Ares is going to make that composition stronger in the early game, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. That's basically what a lot of this game is going to look like as Capital Crew solidifies their about 11 ticket lead at the moment, and that's really, really, really what we're going to be looking for. Right? We're going to see it. We're going to see a blink in from Ares, No Escape go off. He's going to grab 4 or 5 players. 1 or 2 of them is going to connect, and those 1 or 2 are going to get absolutely melted. However, don't be surprised to see 1 or 2 members of the Capital Crew or of Endless Abyss pay for their transgressions, as Ares is going to be severely out of position, and you'll probably have 1 or 2 follow-ups as well. So you should see 2 for 2 or 3 for 2 trades go on a lot. Not going to be any really big super engagements.
Yeah, and you know, the one thing that we do want to talk about is when Ares gets that max CDR. That's going to be in about 2 minutes, when he should have Breastplate of Valor and Blink 3, and really going to be looking for those pulls every 45 seconds. The problem is, well, it's not really a problem, it's just sort of a function of the way it's going to work out. The follow-up from the rest of his team might not be up as often as Ultimate, but he's also not going to pull people that often. And we actually do see a little bit of zoning coming out from Endless Abyss. Really, really smart play.
Yeah, great job right there, zoning, as Cret just mentioned. Of course, that's keeping the enemy out of the way of the experience. They're trying to let their minions kill Capital Crew's minions so that they don't get tickets for it. A great way to try to even up the score. Although they're still down almost 20 full tickets. Here comes what seems like a big engagement, but no desire to commit. So, out comes the Fear No Evil from the Monkey. Out comes the Poseidon Ultimate as well. This is a whole mess of ultimates. Ares is in the air, not going to grab anybody effectively. And now we have 2 teams split up into different stuff. Chillin's going to bring down Bear King in the backline. Bacchus is also getting low. Vatrigal going to take down Poseidon on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, Otterish is going down. And there comes the axe throw, taking down the cat. That's going to be a full 4-for-1, 3-for-1 engagement right there. Capital Crew going to come out the victor, but not for long, as we already have the teams back up and running. So Capital Crew is going to stand about 24 tickets in the lead, even after a great play from Endless Abyss.
Yeah, Endless Abyss really looked for it there, but Capital Crew was ready and willing. And now we're going to see another stalemate in the middle lane, trying to freeze, but the damage coming through from long range. Capital Crew will be able to clear here. You know, Endless Abyss is trying to force these fights, but Capital Crew has been ready. Now, perhaps Ares is going to look for another engagement, cleansing off those Magi's Blessings with his chain. Note that there was a little change to the way Magi's Blessing works with Cripple. That's actually in some ways a buff to Ares, able to cleanse off Blessing by himself.
Yeah, I was looking to get rid of it all by himself. Not really looking for help of the team. And now we have more zoning coming out of Endless Abyss. You know, they're going to throw the axe. That's such good instantaneous clear coming out of Chalk. Having Chalk and Ao Guang there really ensures that they're going to be able to get all of the last hits on the minions. But Athena in the middle of everything, or Ares rather, out comes the ultimate from Ao Guang, going to whiff completely. One person going to be grabbed by the no escape. The Poseidon ultimate's going to miss as well. 3 members of Team Endless Abyss are already down low. We have the Defender of Olympus coming down. Chalk doesn't want to stick it out. That might have been good damage, but decides to play it safe, which is probably the better plan, as they are in the lead, Kret, and opts to walk off and back off.
Yeah, you know, the real thing that you have to talk about here is Capital Crew has Ao Guang as their primary damage dealer. As in, he's the character that's really damage focused. Everyone else is a bruiser. When Spirit Tempest doesn't connect, they have to be really, really careful and look for picks, but not really for the hard engage. They did a great job of not going all in that fight.
Yeah, definitely chose not to overcommit, which is something that is pretty easy to do in Arena. Sometimes when you see an opportunity, it gets a hold of you. And right there, we saw pretty much the problem with Bacchus, if there is a problem with Bacchus. So counterable. Gonna get a good stun onto Chixie, but Vastrical prevented that by just simply pressing his knockup button, making sure the Belts of the Gods didn't connect with the last tick, which of course is the stunning tick. So that's, if they want to use Bacchus for that, they're gonna have to pay attention. But at the end of the day, in Arena, Bacchus is more used for the knockup with belly flop, which we saw cause the initiation last fight, as well as the incredible amount of damage and disorientation that Intoxication brings to the table.
Yeah, Intoxicate is just such a strong ability. I mean, I think that's really the meat of Bacchus's kit. Originally, belly flop was probably one of the best initiates in the game because it was near instant. It has been nerfed a long time ago, and since
Still
then
great.
it's great, but it's nothing compared to Intoxicate. Intoxicate does great damage, is the most annoying crowd control in the game, but it should be mentioned that Tyr is only intoxicated for 1 second, which is really hilarious more than anything.
I guess Tyr's just got a lot of tolerance from days and days of those Norse Viking parties, you know. Then nothing really to keep him down right there. But looks like Ashiyuni wants to make something happen, able to back out with the cat jump. The belly flop's gonna miss the Intoxicate a little bit early. Of course, the only one hitting Tyr, which we just joked about. And out comes the Ao Guang again, right down the 7-10 split. Kret not gonna be able to grab anything. Neither is Bear King gonna miss on that Ares ult, despite the fact that he grabbed somebody with the ability itself. 4 members are split up from Capital Crew. Now it's 3 and 2, and the whole Endless Abyss is walking away again. Another sloppy pre-engagement into a quasi-engagement into a full team retreat. So neither of these teams really want to commit to anything, as they're not able to get their perfect Sundays, so to speak. They're not able to nail the combo or initiate that they're trying to nail or that they're dreaming of nailing. And so they're going to walk away without something perfect, which I respect. I like that choice.
Yeah, I do too. And, you know, part of the problem is Ao Guang Spirit's Tempest is an ability that typically you want setup for. They're not really able to find it this game, and not going in off of a missed Spirit's Tempest is just really a good call. But Capital Crew will continue to pay a little bit passive. Damage coming out onto Lennox, he's not really worried about that. And it's just going to be a little bit of poke from Endless Abyss, but they're not able to find the hard engage that they really want. Result is up. He's going to latch on to 3. Spirit's Tempest will not connect, and Shakespeare gets pulled. She's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, she's gonna actually get away. Not quite gonna be deleted by the dot from Razor Claws, but now the entire Endless Abyss is low. Belgabad gonna go down. He is the monkey, so no more fear, no evil out of him right now. The flames are coming out from Ares. Lots of damage. Lennox gonna get the kill. Lennox gonna get the double kill. The Poseidon ultimate's gonna come out, but the Capital Crew is chasing down Endless Abyss.
Yeah, you know, 4-man Krakens, even when it doesn't hit in the center, usually turn a team fight.
Oh, yeah.
When you 4-man Kraken, Sun Wukong, Tyr, Shock, and Athena, nothing really comes of it. And Endless Abyss has to focus down these frontline players so hard in order to get kills, because they're just not taking damage.
Yeah.
Shock isn't even building defensively. He is a Magi's Blessing. That's his only defensive item, and he's still not taking damage.
I mean, he's pretty much just chalk. You know, we're sitting here at the 12.5-minute mark with a about 30 ticket lead for the Capital Crew. Out comes that Fear No Evil that we were talking about earlier. Looks like he's gonna pay for it. Chixie's gonna throw the ultimate out of the back. Chillin's just barely alive, but the cat's gonna bring her down. Lennox gonna take down the monkey yet again. A lot of damage coming out from Ares onto Chixie. Not enough to get a kill. And Chalk is in the middle of nowhere. No reason for Endless Abyss not to turn onto him, but he's gonna walk away with 99% HP. Great play coming out of Capital Crew right there. Endless Abyss not being able to take full advantage of the opportunity that they were just given.
Yeah, and now we do have a 3,000 gold lead coming out from Capital Crew. Once again, gold leads are a little hard to establish in Arena, but when you're up 5 kills, that'll do it. So, Capital Crew, you know, they're really starting to take the advantage here. And we're going to actually see a collapse onto Ares in the middle lane. We'll be in a fair amount of trouble, dropping to about half as Vastercall is aggressing with those auto attacks, but they will not be able to secure the areas as he's just able to walk out, return to his team, and Capital Crew is still not quite ready to engage. I think they just... Oh, now they're ready. Tyr coming in, looking for Poseidon. He's going to get deleted. No-go escape coming out, but no pull as well. Spirit's Tempest will find his mark onto 2 in the backline. It's Bastet, gets taunted, no pounce back available, and will get very low. Will fall. Lennox running out with 300 health, and here comes the payload.
Lennox just doing so much work at the top of his team. 6-0-3 for the Capital Crew, doing such a good job. Endless Abyss gonna take down this payload as Capital Crew is using this, taking this ability to just walk away back, buy some stuff. We see some members of Capital Crew onto their 5th item already. Vatrical's almost finished with the 5th item, so definitely we're talking about how hard it is to get a gold lead. And you know, sometimes it doesn't matter because the gold per minute or gold per second is just so high, but in this case, we're sitting almost a full item above some of the enemy team. This is definitely a significant lead.
Yeah, you know, it is really looking good for Capital Crew, but they need to make it a little bit more if they want to be comfortable going into the final stage of the game and that last 10-point rush. We do have a nice taunt out onto Ares, but it's just going to allow him to go forward. Fear No Evil onto Vastercall. He will be able to get beats off and is just going to burn back into his base. It's going to be a full disengage coming out of Capital Crew. They're looking good, but now they might be able to turn onto the front line of Endless Abyss. Otterish getting aggressive, and Bear King will fall. Kraken comes through. It will connect onto Sun Wukong, and he really just doesn't care about that one. Capital Crew backs off, and they're just still too tanky.
I mean, the Capital Crew is just taking one at a time. Occasionally, Lennox comes through and he hits 2 people with the X. So it takes home 2 kills, but they're basically just going, they're playing the safe way. We're sitting here 15.5 minutes in, almost a 40 ticket lead, 43 tickets in the lead, which is a very big lead right here in our Alienware Arena tournament. 40 tickets is not a close game, but it's definitely recoverable. So we're going to see a little bit of engagement coming in from Endless Abyss. A great taunt going to come out from Chillin to make sure that doesn't go anywhere. And both teams are going to back off right here. Nothing too consequential from any of those abilities just used right there, but great attention to violence and threat. You know, Endless Abyss is still looking for something, but they're definitely aware of the dangers that Capital Crew have. So they have to play this carefully and make sure that they deliberately, that's going to be the word of the day for Endless Abyss as they're getting engaged on at the moment.
The Capital Crew getting aggressive, but Chixie's in trouble. The catch come out. Chixie dropping to 300 health. Spirit's Tempest will turn, will connect onto Ares, and now he's in a bad spot. The damage coming out from those double chin sides, and he will fall to Basketball. Fear No Evil into a Kraken, will find Chillin, and Athena's in trouble, taken down by the Intoxicate. But, you know, I mentioned double chin size, and I want to talk about that. Chin size is one of the best ways to just crush through a frontline player such as Ares or Shock or Tyr or Athena, and you do see double chin size on both teams, but Bastet and Hoonbots can't really stay in the front line. They can't sit there and attack to carve through that health and do more damage to the enemy front line, and I think that's a really, really great thing about Capital Crew's draft. They took all the physical bruisers. They took everyone who could conceivably stand in the front line with chin size and hit. And that way, Endless Abyss, they can't carve through these essentially tanks, now you're going to see Ares in a fair amount of trouble. Bastet diving into the backline, will jump out, no escape, gonna pull 3, and this could be big.
Yeah, this is going to be a big engagement. Unfortunately, nothing was there to follow up with Endless Abyss, but the monkey's going to get Otterich as he was sitting in the full Fear No Evil. Chixie's going to throw her ultimate from the backline, playing that backline character so great. No tornado damage coming out right there, but Vashigle's going to get hit by, just going to barely not get hit by the Poseidon ultimate. Crafty play, dodging both the Poseidon ult and the caster. So very good play, inching right along the side against the wall, but they're not done, Krat.
Yeah, they're going aggressive. Bacchus gonna belly flop the peel, but Bear King's still in trouble. The Whirlpool on the ground will slow down Capital Crew's advance, but Tornado securing that kill. And now, I have a question. If I told you Ares just got a pull like that, how many kills would you expect to come?
You know, that a pull like that is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'd expect some sort of follow-up, but there just was none, Krat.
Yeah, they got 1 kill. And, you know, getting 1 kill is great, but with a pull like that, it honestly looked like the kind of pull where you win the game off of it.
Yeah, that was a turnaround pull.
The front line of Capital Crew is just too tanky. They could only kill 1 player. They chose Otterich, which was a good choice, but still, Capital Crew is just too tanky. It's absurd.
I mean, just, yeah, look at the draft they have. It's just very hard to kill. Great plays overall, but now Ares is going to get caught out, taunted into everything. Fearless power cleave going to get brought down. Of course, Lennox going to tag the kill at the tail end, as he has been all game. That's going to be his 8th kill, standing pretty with 5 assists as well. He's got one of the most attractive slash lines in the entire game, and he's sitting at the top of the game as far as gold is concerned with 15-7.
You know, it's funny. I'm pretty sure Chixie's tag KS is Killsteal, but it's really been Lennox who's been going hard with those killsteals. Thunderstrike is really great if you want to secure a kill at the last moment. And now Bacchus could be in a bit of trouble. Will belly flip out, finding Vastercall, but just removing his bubble. Bear King trying to find something here and aggress on the front line. His chain will miss, and this should just be Capital Crew. They're going to actually try and turn on Bastet over here on the left-hand side. Tears rounding the corner. There's a taunt, but Bastet should be able to jump the wall, and she'll be out just fine. Capital Crew still looking to engage.
Yeah, Capital Crew now has a lead that they can play with. They're looking to make something go down, because even if they lose an engagement, they can afford to lose an engagement or 2. Kills, of course, are worth 5 tickets. They're up by 50. That's going to be a lot. The ultimate's going to come out from Chixie, going to miss completely. Nothing was really grabbed right there, so there was no setup for it. So she was just kind of winging it. But that's what Capital Crew can afford to do at the moment. They're up by, like I said, 53 tickets at the moment. They could lose an entire team fight and still be up 25, which would make things very hairy as we get close to that 10-ticket mark where minions don't matter. But this is their opportunity to do something rash. This is their opportunity to do something big and bold and downright crazy, and we should see that from Capital Crew in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they're about to go aggressive. They just want to wait for the right amount of tickets to be left on the board. Mastercroll, though, taking a lot of damage, will have to not really back off all the way. Actually, will be found Fear No Evil, but it's Lennox who's in trouble. They realize he's actually a little squishy. Defender Olympus coming through. Otterich now in trouble, but Tears got a double dash. Will take a fair amount of damage. Lawbringer, that's the 3rd dash when he wants to use it, and he's gonna be out. And now can Capital Crew get aggressive and clean up? Looks like it's just gonna be the disengage for now.
Yeah, that's the disengage coming out from Endless Abyss. Great aggression. I would have loved to see them snag a kill or 2 out of that, because that was all them, Krat. That wasn't a mistake from Capital Crew. That was just Endless Abyss seizing the opportunity and getting aggressive and really playing that play correctly. They just needed a tiny bit more damage, maybe 1 or 2 more abilities, and they would have gotten 2 kills. And that's really what Endless Abyss needs to do. They're looking down they're looking down the barrel of a shotgun at the moment. 16 tickets to 69 for Endless Abyss and Capital Crew, respectively, at the 21.5-minute mark. This game is seemingly in Capital Crew's wheelhouse, but as we said before, 10 tickets on Endless Abyss. Now the only thing that can kill them is kills. 2 players need to die on Endless Abyss in order to seal the deal, and this could be it as we see the engagement from Bacchus. He's going to come in and hit 2 people. Now they got the Fear No Evil coming out from the monkey. Looking to get 2 people down. Vatrical immediately up on that cloud. Fearless into the power cleave, looking for the kill on the cat. Honorage has the kill on the cat. 5 tickets, 4 tickets remaining for Endless Abyss. Gonna come out with a plethora of abilities. Lots of damage coming out. 4 pull into a double kill from the Kraken. Actually just gonna take down Vatrical right there. Still looking for that last kill is Capital. Bear King gonna take down Lennox. Now you only have 3 members of Capital Crew alive, surrounded by 5. This needs to be the disengagement or they're gonna go down.
Yeah, they could go down here. Chixie in a lot of trouble. We'll be able to get away as Chillin peels. But, you know, that's the thing. There's 40 tickets left, right?
Yeah.
I think Capital Crew could just go completely all in and not really care what happens. I mean, obviously, if they mess up horribly, they could get 5 for 0'd, but that's really hard to do. At best, you'd say, oh, okay, we could probably get a 5 for 1 here. They're going to look for the pure aggression, or they just kill the remaining 2 minions. Either way, this is looking really, really bad for Endless Abyss.
Yeah, just a single ticket remaining. They can either kill a person, or as your boy King Pern has mentioned in chat, the big minions also count as a kill.
Oh, and so Lennox is going for it. It's the Storm Call. He takes the game, ulting a minion.
Ult the minions. That's going to secure the victory. Capital Crew, Chixie, Lennox, Vastical, friends like Chillin and Otterish going to take home the victory today. That's a 29-minute mark. Game goes to Capital Crew.
You know, what front line, right? I mean, when you look at the damage taken, it's like 30,000 on everyone except for Tyr because he just dashed away. And Capital Crew is just like, we're super tanky. Your ultimate combo can't actually kill us. Insane.
I mean, it's just so much tankiness. When I saw the draft starting to get built, I just got a little scared.
Yeah.
You know, I just knew that there was going to be a lot of tankiness. I knew there was going to be a lot of, you can't harm me, and that's pretty much exactly what went down. You know, Chixie did a great job sitting in the back line. More importantly, look at those. Look at the damage on the creeps. This is probably one of the only times we're going to really pay attention to creep damage. 78,000 damage coming out from Chixie onto the creeps. So those tornadoes were able to secure just so much. So, you know, while everybody was tanky, I don't think that Capital Crew could have done what they did without Chixie and her damage from tornadoes, etc. So I'm going to be looking at her. Who are you looking at that last match?
You know, I got to give it to Lennox. His creep damage was actually not that far behind Chixie. He did a fair amount of player damage top on his team. He went 8-1-6, which is a great slash line. And despite not really building that tanky, he had Majai's Blessing early and got Urshan Witchblade very, very late into his build. He died once. And that's just using Chalk effectively, using his beads and his sprint to avoid damage and get out of bad spots, and using that Storm Call. Lennox really, really played well.
Yeah, our next match is going to be Frequency versus Team Lydia. Some of you might know who Lydia is. Once again, this is the Alienware Arena Cup. It's going to be teams battling over $10,000, so everybody is pulling out all the stops. We're going to cut to a brief break while we wait for the next team and next game to get started. Once again, for Kret, my name is F. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is still F. and I'm still here with Kret. We just watched our second game of the day. On to our third. It's going to be Team Lydia versus Frequency.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Team Lydia is going to bring to the table. I mean, if you were going to name a team after one player in the Smite community, who would it be?
Baby Touch.
Yeah, and we actually did see that team last week, but Team Lydia's got to be a close second. Lydia is just such a character.
Yeah, I mean, Lydia, for those of you that don't know, Lydia is a country music blogger from... she also dates C9 Suntouch. That's a thing. But on the left-hand side of your screen, you're going to have Frequency. And on the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to have Team Lydia. So let's see what the bands come out, what the picks come out. The first one is, predictably, Zeus.
You know, I got to play Zeus in a scrim yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, it was great.
Wow.
And Zeus in Arena is much the same way. You just don't want to let anyone do that.
Okay. I mean, I haven't seen Zeus. I haven't seen Zeus in so long that I couldn't even tell you what it's like playing Zeus, but we are going to see the Shibalanki band on Team Lydia's side, so bringing the brains to the table. Very good play coming out there. I love to see that teams actually do the research, because Arena isn't the most prevalent mode, as we see areas being banned on the other side. You know, Arena isn't the most prevalent mode as compared to Conquest. Conquest is obviously, you know, the esports title that we follow here at Smite, etc. But Alienware has put together some amazing arena tournaments, brings out some teams that we aren't so used to seeing, but also strategies, as we see the Odin ban, which I'm absolutely a huge fan of. But Shibalanki, that just proves to me that the team has done their homework, essentially, Kret, and it shows me that they're taking this seriously and that they actually want to win. But when somebody like Alienware puts down $10,000, how can you not take it seriously?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a big deal. And we do have a Freya first pick coming out from Frequency, and we've seen what Freya can do on Mystics. So definitely a good first pick. Team Lydia hovering over Tyr. Tyr is a good pick. We saw him 2 games in a row now. And Athena, going to see that once again. Leaves Ao Kwong on the table, but Athena and Tyr can be really good together.
Yeah, Athena and Tyr can do great work. Athena is so powerful in these arenas, and it's not even because of Defender of Olympus, which is obviously a great move. It's all about the taunt. The taunt can just bring you out of position, into position, side position, front position, all sorts of crazy stuff. And Tyr's just Tyr. You blink behind him, you get a fearless, a great fearless, and all of a sudden there you go. Now you're even more out of position, and you're completely screwed. So Tyr can bring a lot to the table, regardless of the game mode. But we do have Ao Kwong and Geb being picked on the other side. 2 very strong picks. We haven't seen a Geb yet this tournament, so interested to see what he can bring to the table and what they have planned for Team Frequency.
Yeah, I mean, Geb can really be a strong character. Stone Shield is such a great defensive ability, and likely will be put on Freya. But I want to talk about this Aphrodite-Kali combination. Aphrodite and Geb fill a similar role of keeping people alive.
Yep.
Stone Shield versus the Birds of Love and Undying Love. That's the number 3, the Birds, and the ultimate can really keep someone alive, and keeping Kali alive in a fight is really, really powerful, as she does a lot of damage. Her attack speed, her attack progression equates to, I think it's 42% more attacks or something like that. And it's really, 66% more attacks, which could be a really, really good way to pump out damage with chin size to tanky frontline characters such as Geb, Chalk, and Guan Yu.
Yeah, they're going the same route that Chixie's team did last round, which proved very, very powerful. Now, something as we see Ra being hovered on, not selected on, pulling something from chat. So surprised Kumba hasn't been picked yet. That's a valid observation, but important to note is that Kumba's only been out for a couple of days. Teams might not be comfortable playing with him as uncomfortable as the team is playing against him. And they're probably just as uncomfortable playing with him. Very different, very different stuff from most of the other Guardians. So might want to go with things you're a little more comfortable with, i.e., Geb and Athena, things that you know are tried and true and will work. And that's what we're looking at right here. So we're going to see a pretty standard lineup coming out from Team Lydia. We have an Athena to bring you out of position, and then a Ra and Aphrodite to keep you alive, as well as other characters to do some damage. And on the other side, we have a Geb and Guan Yu to keep you alive. Shock providing some other front lineup, and the damage coming out of Freya and Ao Kwong. We'll see how these two teams work out in just a couple of minutes. We're going to cut to a break. For Kret, my name is F. Dot. We'll see you soon. All right, and we're back. We have Frequency on the left hand of your screen. Team Lydia on the right hand side. Representing Frequency is going to be Catalan on the Freya. Hayes playing the snake that is Ao Kwong. Doodle on the Chalk. Alex is going to be on Guan Yu, and Puyu on Geb.
On the other side of the map, it's going to be Team Lydia, Russian Goat on Ra, Sun Touchable on Tyr, Brilliantos on Kali, i-Drizzle on Aphrodite, and Lydia on Athena.
And we're going to see what both teams can do. Both teams are going to be clearing the buffs. Great buff strategy coming out from Frequency. Team Lydia going to be stuck at that speed camp a little bit longer than their blue counterparts. The Tornado's going to come out, clear out that first wave, and good clear from Team Lydia as well, but nothing that can compete with the Ao Guang. So we're going to have like half the wave stay alive right here for Frequency, and already pushed in Team Lydia's front yard.
And Team Lydia is going to be on the back foot for probably 2 or 3 waves, because the downside of clearing late is that your abilities come up late for the next wave, and it cascades a little bit. But when this next wave comes in, they should be ready for it with all of their abilities, and it's likely going to be those Birds of Love combined with Raw Celestial Beam, clearing out that wave nice and easy. They just need to find the positioning for it. And Frequency is getting a little aggressive, sort of keeping Team Lydia back.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Jockeying for position, it's all about spacing. A lot of these games are about spacing. That's the subtle undertext as we get the pause come out. But it's all about the spacing, being able to space out where you are versus where your opponent's at, and create positive spacing. So that's what we're going to be looking for, and that's something brought from the fighting game community. I've learned a lot about the intangibles of the game of Smite by hanging out with fighting game players, such as DM Brandon has a great fighting game experience background, and Fats as well has a little bit of fighting game background, and some of their friends in the Juice Gaming clan, Cret. But the spacing is just so important. Where you can, not just where you are, but forcing your opponent to be where they don't want to be is very important. And it seems so John Madden, right? It seems so, well, you get the other guy to be in the other spot that you don't want to be in. But at the end of the day, that's a much more complex equation than it seems on the top. It's all about perspective damage. It's all about potential abilities and potential crowd control. And being able to corral somebody in a spot where they don't want to be, using the threat of your own abilities, is very important, and tenement, especially in an arena mode.
Well, speaking of potential, let's talk about the potential here coming out of Tyr. He's already got his blink. He can pull someone out of position, but it's counterable. Puyu on Geb with Stone Shield can remove people from Tyr's Fearless as it's going, or cast the shield in advance and stop the Fearless from happening altogether. So that's going to be an interesting sort of one-on-one matchup happening behind the scenes. Can Tyr actually get his abilities off, or will he be countered by that Geb pickup? But if Tyr could get himself onto a backline player such as Ao Guang or Freya, you could likely see them fall very easily. And we do have level 5 on all players. Tyr actually looks like he's not skilled up Lawbringer yet, so maybe going into 3 ranks of Fearless. No, he will skill up the Lawbringer just a little bit later than everyone else. We do have a Weakening Curse on the field from Puyu, and, that's really important. With a Ra and an Aphrodite, healing is a big factor for Team Lydia, and you really don't want to let them sustain up throughout a fight.
Yeah, the sustain is going to be absolutely nasty. You don't want to let the red team really stick around, and that's what they're going to look for. Frequency is going to look for, as you said, they're going to look for the counter coming out of Geb, but they're going to look for probably an initiation from Alex. They're going to look to drive the horse in the middle of the fight, and then follow it up with some good damage, take one person down, and really try to keep the fight going on from there. Well, Team Lydia is going to try and poke, and just stay in your face. The double lift coming out from Caitlyn, but it's all about, as you said, the regenerative possibility from Team Lydia in the red. You have Solar Blessing coming out of Ra, which will be able to heal many times a second for the whole team, and Lydia is going to be able to provide a very powerful heal, and also invulnerability coming out of her ultimate. So lots of cool stuff, or iDrizzle rather, lots of cool stuff coming out of Team Lydia, but very defensive as we see the entire team back off to the base for some reason.
Yeah, they're just going to back off buy altogether. There's no reason to go buy by yourself.
True.
Because that means you're leaving 4 in the center. That could be an opportunity to engage. And with Blink Cataclysm available from Frequency, they can actually start a fight in a really bombastic, explosive manner. I mean, Blink Cataclysm is so scary, but Lawbringer, that could be scary too. So Untouchable looking for it. Defender of Olympus out. His Blink should be available soon, but not in time, and that's going to be 2 ultimates used on Team Lydia to no effect. But Blink Cataclysm gonna find 3. Weakening Curses on the ground. One, you're charging forward, and iDrizzle gets absolutely evaporated.
Yeah, and that's going to be enough to take down one, but not enough to take down two. But Caitlin's going to secure it with the Valkyrie's discretion. Now they're looking for the Russian goat. Russian goat, not so goat today. Doodle's going to bring him down with the Thunder Strike. The axe being thrown through both teams to get the kill. Great play coming out from Frequency. We're looking at a lead for them, not a tie at the moment, but it's a small lead. Cret. This is a lead that Team Lydia can easily take back. Couple of minion waves, couple of big minions that ZJ Pernicus likes to show me up and tell me that I'm doing it wrong, but they're gonna look for more than just the kills here. Team Lydia is close enough that they can bring it back, but at the moment, Frequency is driving this bus.
Yeah, Frequency is really in control. Their hard engage is unrivaled, and Team Lydia has to survive. And you know, there was a misplay from Aphrodite there. She died with her ultimate up because I don't think she was expecting to die that fast. And I certainly wasn't expecting her to die that fast. That Alcog ult combined with the cavalry charge just absolutely obliterated Aphrodite. And, you know, it's 5 seconds with Weakening Curse, then the second Weakening Curse can come out. That's another 5 seconds. 10 seconds of no healing against Ra and Aphrodite is really brutal. Yeah. So if you see Alex and Puyu using that together in a really strong synchronized fashion, Team Lydia is going to be in a lot of trouble. We do have a little bit of jockeying for position here as the speed buff on the right-hand side is in trouble, and Frequency will be able to take it over here, so no problems there. But I love the play to get aggressive on the speed buff and say, hey, you're going to have to bring your people over here and really force us off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to be aggressive. You always have to be aggressive in Arena. I love the attention to detail, essentially, where you're not going to let a single thing go by without a fight. You know, that's really what it's all about. Here we see the power of Ao Guang in Arena yet again. Last hits galore. They got all 6 of them. So no harm, no foul for Team Frequency. But now Lydia's going in there. Out comes the flip from Tyr, but there comes the double Weakening Curse. Not so much healing going on right now. And Alex is going to take down Suntouchable. Russian Code is also going to go down to the hands of Guan Yu. Now all by herself is Kali surrounded. Kaylin's in the air, going to bring down iDrizzle. 2 members of Team Lydia also very low. 3, 4, 5 people chasing down this Kali right now. She's gonna jump, use that nimble strike, and walk away. No questions asked or answered. But not before Frequency takes 2 members down themselves. Credit going to Alex.
Yeah, I want to talk about this. It's a problem that Kali players have to address. You have to make a choice. You either start with boots and you don't have your damage, so you finish Chin Size a lot later, or you start with Chin Size and then you're really, really slow. Brilliantos is elected to go boots first. Chin Size are just online, but he still needs to finish his beats. He needs to finish his sprint before he's really able to dive and be aggressive on the back line. But Ao Guang should be a really vulnerable target, as even when Ao Guangs are building defensively, usually it's like Warlock Sash. They get a lot of health, and Kali says, oh, you have a lot of health. That's nice. That's cute. I'm going to carve my way through it.
Yeah, thank you. For those of you that don't know, Nimble Strike heals. The jump heals should you use it aggressively. It'll actually heal Kali for 20% of the missing HP. Yeah. on the target, not the target, but the person who she lands on. So if you have a lot of HP, that's just more healing for Kali, and she doesn't seem to mind. Now we see Suntouchable bringing out the taunts. Doesn't matter if we're down 40 tickets, we want a taunt, and that's what Tyr's gonna bring. That's what Tyr's gonna do. And Tyr's actually looking, he's getting in position. He wants to get a double, triple, quad fearless going on, but I don't know how realistic that is with. Well, there's only 2 beads on the other enemy team, correct? Russian Goat and Brilliantos has beads, but that's it. So Suntouchable could feasibly do a lot of work.
A girdle comes out, but it seems a little premature. Tears can actually go for a fight. Beads coming out from Ao Guang. He'll be safe. And the Defender of Olympus comes crashing down into nothing but Cataclysm. Gonna find Hydro, Spirit Tempest annihilating Lydia, and Hayes is gonna find the double. Now another kill going to Doodle. Brilliantos in the backline. He does heal up after his ultimate, but 15% of Kali's small health pool is still, it's like 200 health. That's one hit from Freya. That's like a stern look from Freya.
Just to look in the wrong direction, coming out from the wrong enemy is going to bring you down. You know, another good engagement coming out of Frequency. Lots of stuff going out right there. It's going to be still about 45 tickets in the lead. The payload's going to come out for Frequency. Team Lead is going to need to bring this down. All hands on deck to take down the payload. It's no longer moving as Frequency has backed off a little bit. Of course, the payload only moves if you are in range of it. If your team is in range of the payload, it'll move forward, similar to other games who have a similar mode. But right now we see another engaging out from Al Guang, gonna make sure he doesn't get caught out, and a bad blink coming out from Suntouchable, making sure he's not able to land any of that Fearless. So great.
Oh, but look at the payload, look at the payload. As Lydia went aggressive, Frequency just snuck past them. Now Brilliantos is trying to fight. Gets a really nice instance. The snipe comes through, but Catalina just gonna go up in the air. Brilliantos, he can't land those last few hits. Missing the Freya ult, but still will be able to get out. Brilliantos looking for the jump. Healing up slightly. There's the jump, but the heal comes through from Guan Yu. You know, Guan Yu's heal is probably the most clutch heal in the game, right? Because you never expect it. It just comes out at the last moment and saves you. And you're like, yeah, Guan Yu can heal. I almost forgot. Because you know, when you think Guan Yu, you think cavalry charge, you think Taolu assault, but the heal is still a very strong part of his kit, and I think Brilliantos didn't factor for that little bit of burst healing right at the end to keep Catalin alive.
Yeah, I mean, Guan Yu just will not let you fall at the end of the day.
He will not.
He will not let you fall.
He'll never let you down.
But Team Liddy is going to look for some buffs right here, stealing them from Frequency, or rather, preventing the steal from Frequency. Brilliantos has his ultimate channeling. He's going to get away. It looks like a great ultimate going to come out from Guang. Not enough to bring him down. Alex is going to take down the tier in the back. Russian Goat going to help his teammates get away with a good slow. And now the rest of Frequency are in the back line. Caitlyn is going to take down Lydia. Don't know where she was, but she's going to go down to the hands of the Freya. That's a 2-for-0 exchange. And here at the 10-minute mark, we're sitting almost 100 tickets up for Team Frequency. That's exactly 100 tickets up for Team Frequency. 318 to 224 for Frequency and Team Lydia, respectively. They're off to the races, Cret.
Yeah, you know, I think Frequency is really in a difficult spot right now. Or Lydia is really in a difficult spot. Frequency is sitting pretty, but when you're down nearly 100 points, I think it just comes to the point where you say, we got to do something crazy to come back.
Yeah.
Untouchable is going to get caught out, and look at that Freya damage. No help required. Catalin taking down some Brilliantos, but going into the air, Valkyrie's Discretion is a great way to not even need peel. Now in the middle, Lydia's in a lot of trouble, and that's a triple going the way of Catalin.
Catalin with the trip. Here she comes. We're going to roll the dice again, but that's a lot of damage coming out from Untouchable. But Catalin with the quadra. Great play right there. Excellent job piloting that Freya. All 5 members of X Frequency are alive and well. There's going to be a full wave of minions. Going to make it not quite to the portal, but just up to the front door for Team Frequency. Still maintaining that 100-plus ticket lead right here, Cret. And this is the beginning of the end. Team Lydia already beneath 200. Frequency just dipped below 300. What realistically can Team Lydia do to bring themselves back in this game?
Like I said, I think they have to do something completely crazy. Because what they're doing so far hasn't worked. It's systematically not been working. And I think either they're too far behind, which is a distinct possibility, or they just have to fight now. And they have to try something. And I don't know, maybe they just all in the gap.
Yeah.
Just something completely crazy, because what they've been doing so far hasn't been working. It clearly hasn't been working.
See, I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to wait for Frequency to let their lead play them. I'm going to wait for Frequency. If I'm Team Lydia, I'm going to wait for Frequency to go all in. And I'm going to use my Aphrodite ultimate perfectly. And I'm going to try to back off as much as possible while making Frequency burn all their stuffs. And then I'm going to try to make the stuff after the stuff happen. I'm going to use my superior sustain to come back. Because while I definitely can't out-damage Frequency, being down 10k gold almost, I can out-sustain them still. And you're going to have to wait out the weakenings. You're going to have to out-position the enemy team. But I think with this comp, Cret, that it's possible But right now, we're going to see a melting right here with the lift into the... See, that's the perfect ultimate, but not good enough. Catalan's going to take him down. It's untouchable regardless. Up in the air. Now looking at the Kali. Brilliantos with a brilliant play. Going to make it away unless hi-rez comes through. Now turning around onto him with the defender of Olympus. Going to stop down. hi-rez is going to take down the Kali with the ultimate. That's 2 for the price of 1. The surrender vote's coming out. Now you have 3-4 members of Team Lydia in their own base. This could be the second payload of the match, Cret. Frequency is piloting this payload all the way into the tower, into the portal. I think it's going to make it.
Yeah, they have to stay near it to make sure it keeps moving, but the payload will make it in. And Frequency, I mean, that's just really how you establish your dominance. Not 1, but 2 payloads going to the portal, you know you're in a really tough spot. And yeah, it's surrender vote. I mean, it might just be the best course of action at this point. Team Lydia is really, really in dire straits.
Yeah, Team Lydia is definitely fighting the uphill battle right here. But like I said, man, the sustain is real. I think it's possible. But right now, at the 14-minute mark, we're sitting about 150 tickets below the leaders who are X-Frequency. I think this one just might be going to Frequency. The Blink Cataclysm is going to come out. Drizzle is going to be launched into the air. This is going to be a tough one for Aphrodite to get out of, taking a lot of damage. Alex is going to not secure the kill. Kill's going to go to Catalan. Now we have a secondary target. We're looking at Lydia of Team Lydia on Lydia. They're going to turn around. Frequency doesn't want to fight that fight. Only 95 tickets to go. They're going to secure the minion wave. Great job. Catalan's going to pick up Untouchable in the back also, while he's standing on his own tower. So much damage able to come out from that Freya, and they're just gonna walk it in. They're gonna walk in an entire wave of minions. Nope, they're gonna miss 2. But the ultimate's gonna come out from Ao Guang, and he's gonna miss as well.
Yeah, Catalan is just so strong right now. Legitimately, like, killing tier in 4 or 5 hits is absolutely unbelievable. Brilliant is coming around from the backside and actually pumping out a lot of damage. The snipe from Russian Goat to secure a very fed Freya. That's a step, but it might be a step too late as they're still sitting down a massive amount of tickets. It's about 150 right now.
Yeah, 150 ticket deficit is definitely the reality of this excursion right now for Team Lydia. Team Frequency up in the ranks. Of course, representing Team Frequency is hi-rez, Catalan, Puyu, Doodle, and Alex 666010. Great play coming out from all members right there, and especially have to notate the Catalan. 11, 1, and 12 is her current slash line. Although great engagement coming out right now. Catalan looking to extend that. hi-rez is going to pick up Lydia, the namesake of her own team. And now Brilliantos is looking to secure something, channeling that ultimate. Going to walk away. Great ultimate from Aphrodite. Going to make sure she doesn't fall to the wayside. Walking back to heal up is that Kali. And now 3 members of Frequency are in the middle, securing kills on those minions.
Yeah, they're gonna try and clear this minion wave, and maybe they can hold out at 10 minions. But I think even just farming waves, they're gonna be a tough spot. Brilliant is getting aggressive, will not find the kill in time. hi-rez able to absolutely annihilate him, not even falling himself. Is so much damage comes out without Guang when he has that polynom count online. It's untouchable in the front line, not able to find damage onto anyone. Guan Yu hitting about 50% health, but Frequency just keeps pushing forward.
Yeah, Frequency forcing the enemy into the wrong position. Now you have a little bit of damage coming out onto Catalan. She's looking to be in a little bit of dangerous situation, but she's going to walk away. Great flip coming out from Untouchable, getting the double fearless. Out on the horse goes Alex. He's looking just to get away. Frequency in the wrong spot right now. Catalan going to chase down along with Puyu. Can he get it? There it is. Catalan going to bring down the Kalima. Not quite problem right there. 4 members of Team Lydia still waiting around. Russian Goat being very dangerous over here, securing that speed camp, walking away with the blind. Gonna get out of there, not even paying for it. Great job.
Yeah, but Untouchable will barely get out. That Spirit Tempest will not connect. Brilliantos does fall to Catalan once again.
3,
and at this point,
2, 0. Game goes to Frequency. Very exciting, high-octane game. 0 tickets on Team Lydia's side. 193 coming out from X-Frequency. One of the more lopsided games we've seen. Great job from Team Frequency. Special shout-out to Catalan. 13, 1, and 13. What a slash line.
Yeah, I mean, Freya just did so much damage. You saw Tyr and Athena and everyone just get chunked, right? It's just 25%, 75%, 50%, 25% dead. Freya is so powerful when she gets ahead, and Frequency certainly got ahead. Lydia is going to have to go back to the drawing board for that one, because Freya was definitely worth first picking.
Oh, without a doubt. Freya just melted everybody. Tons of damage coming out. In fact, if we take a look at the damage charts, I wouldn't be surprised if she's leading the player damage, and she is, with 31,000 player damage, 6,000 above anyone that was even close. So absolutely insane stuff coming out from Freya. Great job right there. And once again, got to mention again, 13, 1, and 13 on that slash line.
Yeah, I mean, wow, what dominant performance. But I think it was really everyone on Frequency. It was teamwork, right? From the first initiation to the last. Geb blinks in, Cataclysm, Spirit Tempest comes through. It's going to be the cavalry charge. And what can you do? It was so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a lopsided game right there. Lot of damage coming out from the X Frequency. They seem to be a little more experienced as well from Team Lydia, so great job coming out right there. But this gives us a good opportunity to go ahead and talk one more time about the Alienware Arena Pro Session Sweepstakes. Keep in mind, this tournament is sponsored by Alienware. They're the ones that are putting up the $10,000 gold $10,000 prize for first place for the winners of this arena tournament. Going to be multiple days, but let's talk about the Pro Session Sweepstakes. You can sign up on alienwarearena.com and get the chance to focus and play underneath pros like Laz's Lobster, Suntouch, Zapman, Youngbay, and Sio. So go ahead and sign up for that, and we will get the next game set up for Cret. My name is F. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon. All right, we're back. My name is F. I'm here with Cret. We're going on to our fourth game of the tournament. We have a full 2 days, both today and tomorrow, as well as next week, Saturday and Sunday. But this is our first game in our round of 32. Who are we going to be seeing today, Cret?
Oh, we're going to be seeing Mathlete against I5. I believe NA versus EU, as Nito Scanali on Mathlete is an NA player I recognize from 3v3, and actually a pretty cool dude, as I have played with him. But I5, also really cool dudes. You like Durgius. Why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
No, I5 is one of the premier team, one of the not so premier teams that have come up in the ranks during the European path to Smite launch. They didn't place, and they didn't get the trip to Atlanta, Georgia. However, they got better each and every week we saw them play. And Durgius is actually a very active member of the community. After every single weekly tournament, he goes on the Reddit, reddit.com/r/smite, and he hosts an Ask Me Anything. Now, like I said, they're not one of the top teams, but they are a very competitive professional team. So if you ever want the insight, look to Durgius. He's one of the more involved members of those teams, and it's very exciting. They very candidly, a team I5 we're talking about, they very candidly talk about their rise to where they're at, and their mistakes and their non-mistakes as well, their bonuses, their pluses. So I love to see that. I love to see the immersion into the community, as we're all just part of the same community. So I love to see that coming out from I5, and at the core of it, they were a bad team that just got better because they cared each and every week, and it's fun to see that. So now we're gonna get pulled into the lobby. We have Mathletes versus I5, who we were just speaking of. Zeus and Shibalanki are gonna be our two first bans. So let's check out who else is here.
Yeah, we've also got Nemesis taken off the table. Haven't actually seen Nemesis be played yet, and a big part of that is just Divine Judgment. Arena is a game mode about focusing targets, and you know what would make it easier to focus a target? Taking off a big chunk of their health, and a big chunk of their protections, and a big chunk of their movement speed. That would be really handy. Nemesis not going to be allowed for just that reason, as teams just don't want to deal with it. At the same time, though, they also don't want to first pick her, it seems. But Freya, we've seen a lot of her.
Yeah, I mean, the Freya is just too powerful not to first pick, basically. She brings so much to the All right, she basically just brings a lift that can set things up real well and a lot of damage. Let's just be real. That's what she brings. Basic attacks paired with the pulse irradiate combo can devastate an individual. And if they decide to get away, launch up into the air and go to Valkyrie's discretion. So we're going to see the Nemesis band, as you talked about. The Ares is going to be the 4th band. And the first 2 picks coming out on the side of I5 are going to be not just Athena, but somebody we haven't seen today yet, Gret. Scylla.
Ooh, Scylla is such a strong character, especially in team fights. I mean, an AoE cripple root, not true AoE, but close enough, is really, really strong. Crush does lots of damage and works really well with setting up for other abilities, having that magic penetration built into it. And Scylla is just a monster. She can carve through an entire team, cascading for a pentakill if you're in the right place at the right time with good aim and you get just a little bit lucky. You could really just wipe an entire team by yourself with one ability.
Yeah. I'm a monster is definitely a very, very scary situation. And we're actually going to see Ninja Dimi, not part of the usual I5 roster we're used to seeing. You know, Lordy, Durgius, Sinantri, Advert, these guys are here and have been here for a while as we see Tier and Gab locked in on the Mathlete side. But Ninja Dimi is going to be new to the roster, new this season. Well, we're in the off season right now. This season starts the week after next, but I can imagine this is the team, the roster they're going to go with. So I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, they're trying out Ninja Dimi in place of their former hunter, I believe Falkenhoof was his name. But let's take a look at these team composition. I mean, we mentioned Freya, Sun Wukong we've seen before. He's got great control, good damage, hard to kill. Geb, great at keeping people alive. Tyr can apply a lot of control, but honestly, I don't think we've really seen any true lights out Tyr play just yet.
Yeah.
And then Ao Kuang. Spirit Tempest is so strong, Tornado is so strong. But on I5, you've got a very strong front line, and then standing behind it all, Scylla.
Yeah, you know, I really like the picks that Mathletes have right here. I think Scylla can do a lot, but you know, all these great picks on Mathlete's side, the Freya damage, the Gab, I kind of just see who Odin what team Odin's on, and I root for them. Not that I'm rooting for I5, but Odin is just so powerful in Arena. You know, you have a Freya that can ult out, a Wukong that can ult out, and a Tyr that can ult out. So all 3 members have to use their ult to get out of the ring, and those are just the 3 that can actually get out. You know, Geb and Ao Kuang have no way to get out, barring Combat Blink, which is almost undoubtedly going to be picked up on the Dragon. So very, very, very scary stuff coming out with a single move. That's the Odin Ring. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see just how strong that Odin Ring proves to be in our next match, which is I5 versus Mathletes. For Kret, my name's Ftot. We'll see you soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back. We have the Mathletes. We have the Mathletes versus I5. The former being on your left-hand side. Durgy is kind of sniffing something out. Gonna put a ward down. That's interesting. I don't hate that, but I don't love it. Representing Mathletes is going to be White on the Ao Kuang. Nita Scully is going to be playing on that Geb. Luke Alert going to be playing Tyr. Wukong going to be played by Nasty Devasty. And Freya, that powerful Freya, played by Crazy Kendi.
Okay, so look at the way I5 is clearing right now. They're clearing all 3 camps at the same time. They drop the word to confirm that the opponents are using a less efficient clear, and now they're going to try and punish Mathlete for it. Clearing 3 buffs simultaneously is very, very strong, and Athena will eventually get a Fist of the Gods. That's kind of nice. You just can ally Tomden out of his role, but no follow-up coming out of the Mathlete. Still, a little bit of early strategy, not really putting them ahead at all, but it was really cool.
Yeah, I like to see that, paying attention to the strategy, and already Luke Alert's very low. Ninja Dimi is going to get the first kill out to Nasty Devasty. Down goes the Wukong, and it looks like Luke Alert's in a little bit of trouble as well. One more hit, Sinantri going to take him down. There we go, the first 2 kills of the game go to I5 immediately before the first minute mark. Great job.
Yeah, you know, that's the power of this Bruiser comp pre-5. Not really something we saw out of the last time a Bruising Comp was drawn, but what do you do against Gugner's Might and Thunderstrike and Taunt into Shield Wall and Taolu Assault when you don't have your ultimates to turn around on them? That was just really, really scary. You know, the thing about Freya, very, very strong, but right now, not as scary as she is the rest of the game. And definitely not as scary as Guan Yu's Taolu Assault. I mean, that ability is just so good. Max rank, it does 550 base damage, reduces protections by 21, scales decently well too, and increases Guan Yu's protections by 21. It'll also make you toast if you use it at the right time. It just does everything, and here's an engaged cavalry charge coming through. Cataclysm, I5 is looking good. They get the first hill. I'm a Monster comes out. Lloydie, he's looking for more. He's gonna find it. That's a double. Looking for the triple, not gonna find it with the third hit, but Nito Scanali will die nonetheless. Lloydie gets the triple 2 minutes in.
Ladies and gentlemen, I5. That is a 3-5. They have 5 kills thus far. 6 kills to 0. Not even the 2 minutes. Not even 2 minutes into the game. 6 kills. That is outlandish. That is obscene. And that's pretty much how you play Skilla. You want to hit those ultimates. You want to hit them multiple times in a row. Great job right there. And, you know, Mathlete's already on their back foot. Down 30 tickets already. This is something that I5, they want to stick this. They want to drive this. They want to push it.
Yeah, but Advert, he's going to get pushed into Spirit Tempest, will connect the knockup, but he's just getting bounced around. Tear coming in, Lawbreaker will connect. Advert just barely not escaping, and I5 is looking to engage, but I don't know if they have the damage to confirm it. Taught into Shield Wall. Dirgius, Crazy Kennedy's going to be in a bad spot, but no, it's going to be Nito Scanali who falls, and I5 gets a 1-for-1. That's not too bad, but Lloydie could be in a bad spot here. He's going to get peeled for by his team and will be able to get out.
Yeah, great teamwork right there. We see a lot of the teams sort of in poor positions, and then they pay for it. Well, I5 has been playing together for a long time, as we said, and their ability to really back up for their teammates is going to be the driving factor, if not just Dirgius's incredible Athena play. We've seen him already do work. Not even the 5-minute mark, so we're gonna see a lot more coming out of there. Sitting at 3 minutes in, he already has 7 assists. 7 assists. It's absolutely insane, and look to see more of that. Skill is also sitting at the point where she can instantaneously clear the wave in just about a level or two, so very, very crazy stuff. Out comes the stun onto Ninja Dimmy. A little bit of whack here and there. Crazy Kennedy not going to be in range, and now Nito Scanali all the way in the middle of the fight. You're going to be able to walk away, but that wasn't the greatest positioning right there and could have been punished.
Yeah, you know what sucks more than playing from behind? Playing from behind at that 2-minute mark. In Mathlete, they're going to have to make a concerted effort to come back all game long. It's just not the way you want to play. And that sounds obvious, but it's disheartening. And that's the real thing. Cavalry charge coming through onto the back line. Cataclysm, Advert's in trouble, going to ring in 3 and jump out. Somersault Cloud, he will get taken down by Crazy Kennedy in trouble in the back. Can regroup his team, but here's Lloydie. I'm a Monster, does not connect. Crush, well that will, and you know, Lloydie really wanted that cascade there. Luke Alert gonna go on a Ninja Dimmy. He's gonna find himself in trouble as he gets rooted. Luke Alert slowed, taken down, and that's
Look at them. Look at them. Look at I5. They're a 5-man unit. They might as well be in an APC, an armored personnel carrier, just walking along as one big unit. You know, sort of look like a school of fish. And that's really gonna be that's such a benefit. Being able to work as one unit with 25 abilities versus 5 individual players with 20 abilities rather than 5 individual players with 4 abilities each is so potent, especially in an arena format like this. The payload's going to be taken down almost instantaneously, so great job by Mathletes right there, but the fights have been I5's every single time.
Yeah, and that's a 5-minute payload. I mean, make no mistake, that's very early. I think it was the what was it? Kumbhakarna? Oh my god, I can't even remember their name right now. But we did see a game where the payload came out very, very late. But Dirgius will get knocked up and almost no damage coming in. Advert gonna actually engage off of it. Spirit Tempest comes through. It's gonna find Guadyu, but he doesn't care. He's diving in with Cavalry Charge, and White will be in trouble. The ring comes out. Athena's inside. Sun Wukong's inside, and Lloydie is on a rampage. But Ninja Dimmy, he's gonna heal. He's got 300 health. Valkyrie's Discretion just barely finds him with the last shot, and nonetheless, it's another 2-for-1. And it's Arena. You'll take a 2-for-1, even if a high priority target dies. Even if somehow you lose gold with a 2-for-1 trade, which can happen with very fed players, it's still worth an Arena because tickets don't get more important or they don't get higher when you get more fed. Lloydie, sitting at 5-0, isn't worth more than 5 tickets. He's still just 5. His death matters less than it would in Conquest. Killing a 5-0 player in Conquest is huge.
Very good point about the 5 tickets staying constant right there. Great analysis coming out, and we see Mathletes coming out as well. Nasty Devasty kind of poking advert a little bit. Want to make something happen. Not going to be able to do anything right there. Now is the first time we've ever seen I5 the whole match broken up. We have 3 members up in the front, Skilla walking towards them as well to become the 4th, and Odin's all the way back towards the base. So this is where Mathletes wants to be, and they get the blink. They do get the blink in from Tier, but nothing going to be confirmed. So they had the right idea. But here's the double lift. Freya should be approaching critical mass right now. Going to do a lot of damage onto Ninja Dimmy. He's going to get on the horse, though. No harm, no foul. Up in the air is Sun Wukong. 4 members of I5 surrounding him, making sure he's got nowhere to go. He's going to fall back onto his teammates. Great disengage coming out from both I5 and Mathletes.
You know, but you got to give it to the Mathletes. Given the fact that they're down 10 kills, they're only down about 50 points, which means they haven't actually really lost any creeps. They're only down the tickets from kills. That's actually very impressive, but they're not letting the stuff after the stuff happen. They are going to engage with Lloydie. He gets annihilated. Needus Canali with that beautiful blink cataclysm. Here's here. Honest Notry Spirit's Tempest will not connect. Actually, looks like Dirgius in the back, but nonetheless, that's not the target they wanted. Lucaler in trouble. Stormcall coming through, and Ninja Dimmy finds Nasty Devasty. Now I5 just gonna back out once again.
2-for-1. 2-for-1. Always a 2-for-1. You know, but this is about the time where 8 minutes in, Crazy Kennedy's at 12. It's about the time where Freya is good. Like I mentioned it during the previous fight when he got the double lift. Critical mass. A lot of damage is going to come out very soon from Crazy Kennedy. You have the boots, which gives you a little bit of penetration, and the Fatalis, which doesn't do much for your damage. But you have the full demonic grip, which gives you 60 magical power, some more attack speed so you get more of the pulses out, as well as some penetration, and he's building into another damage item, most likely Bancrofts, maybe? But we'll see. It's going to be a lot of damage coming out from Crazy Kennedy, and now's the point where things start to get dangerous. So I5, while they're definitely up in the lead, they're about 60 to 50 tickets as the pause comes out. About 50 tickets in the lead, just underneath the 9-minute mark here at our 4th game of the day for our Alienware Arena $10,000 Arena Cup. But this is the point where I5 needs to pay attention to Freya. Before this, maybe she was a little weak and you could get away with some things, but diving as deep as I5 has been isn't going to be copacetic, so to speak, for I5. Crazy Kennedy's reaching that point, and he's going to be very scary. Who else are you afraid of on the Mathletes that can turn this game around despite the 50-ticket deficit?
You know, right now I've got to give it to Needus Canali. We have seen some clutch Blink Cataclysms. We've seen some clutch Stone Shields. And if he keeps playing like that, once his team finally has their damage online in the form of Freya, and not so much in Ao Kuang as he's building very defensive, very survival-oriented. But you do have a fair amount of damage on Tyr and Sun Wukong as well. And if he can really set up for his team, you could see I5 quickly get annihilated. But there's also the problem of Freya. Freya is only Freya for 5 seconds out of every 10 without using any form of cooldown reduction.
Right.
She only has that pulse radiate up for a short period of time, and that's the point when Freya carves through people. When it's down, she's not going to do too much, and given the tankiness, the tanky front line of I5, the 4-player front line, and the nature of basic attacks in Smite, Freya might not be able to actually kill someone within those 5 seconds. I mean, if Tyr was just, or if Chalk was just flat out just standing in front of Freya, dueling her, would she kill him in 5 seconds? Maybe not. But if Tyr's or Chalk's running around behind Guan Yu, behind Odin, behind Athena, can she focus him down? That's even harder. So while Freya is incredibly scary right now, she's probably not going to be able to get to the squishy target of Lloydie, And
Yeah.
she might not be able to carve through the front line without concerted effort from the rest of her team.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. The front line is very thick, and the banish is great, but a lot of these players can get out of problems. Pretty much no harm, no foul. Durgius is the one disconnected at the moment, and you know we praised his what do you have, seven assists in 2 minutes. He's now sitting at 13 assists at 9 minutes, so absolutely fantastic. But while we're waiting, why don't we discuss one more time? I've mentioned it once or twice, actually I think just twice, the Arena Smite. The Alienware Arena Smite Pro Session Sweepstakes. This, of course, is the contest you can reach by going to alienwarearena.com, and you can sign up to play under a couple of people. You get a 2-hour Smite session with the pro of your choice. Now, out of the 6 choices here, Cret, if you won this contest, who would you want to play? Would you want to play against? I noticed you're trying to grow a mustache. Would you play underneath Sayo to get his mustache technique, or?
No, I don't think I don't want to put myself at that level, right? I don't think I can do it. I just don't have faith. So it wouldn't be Sayo, as much as I do love him and I love his mid play. I think it has to be Lasses, just because he's so much fun.
Really?
Have you ever met anyone who's more fun than Lasses? Aside from like your crazy aunt. It's like crazy aunt Lasses.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have a point there. You know, I would love to say Young Bay, but you know, I need help. I need help coming up with a cool nickname, and Zapman kind of has the lockdown on the nickname world right now. So I think I think I would have to pick Zapman. Of course, for those of the uninitiated, he is Long Island Brethren. We're actually before Zapman moved to Florida to live with his Team Dignitas brethren, we were neighbors, live about 5 minutes away. So absolutely cool stuff going on right there. But even though we lived so close, I still don't know how he's got such a cool name. So we're waiting for Natman, maybe. I don't know. I honestly signed up, and I don't know if I would go Natman, but Young Bay could teach me how to hunt there. So I'm very excited. For those of you that don't know, it's the full choices are Lazard and Zapman from Team Dignitas, Lobster and Young Bay from Team Solo Mid, the winners of the $200,000 Smite launch tournament, and Suntouch and Sayo of Cloud9 fame. So very cool stuff. APC says we should be getting back to the game in just a couple of minutes, or even sooner. Durgius is back in game, so we should be seeing the unpause come out any minute, Cret. I'm excited to see the rest of this Mathletes I5 matchup.
You know, if there's one thing you always tell me, it's how much you love Arena. And this is just such a high-octane, quick-paced game that it is
Game
really
unpaused
exciting.
now. Game's unpaused. Let's go back to the arena, and already right in the middle of the action, they're going to fight over a couple of buffs over here. Matacamp being highly contested. Out comes the Geb Ultimate, the Cataclysm, the Eternal Dragon, and Crazy Kennedy's going to pick up Lloydie in the back. You got 3-4 members of I5 running away as their 5th has been taken down. Great fight from Mathletes coming out of that pause. That's exactly what they needed to do right there.
Yeah, Lloydie straight up got sniped there, and it was a beautiful play coming out. And when Lloydie fell, I5 knew they just didn't have what they needed to follow up, get any return kills, even though Niduscan Alley was in a bad spot at certain points during that engagement, as
Right.
Geb is still a little bit vulnerable to straight up being murdered. But you do have Guanyu getting aggressive on the back. Durgi is looking for initiation. I5 has to play it careful now. We highlighted how scary Freya is. They have to find the right initiation at the right time if they want to be able to continue to close this game out strong. It's going to be Advert blinking in onto Freya. Freya gets taunted, will be in trouble. Fist of the Gods, and the cleanse comes out from the Stone Shield. Spirit Tempest will connect, but Freya falls. I'm a Monster coming through, will not connect, and Lloydie is in a lot of trouble.
Lloydie's gonna run away. Got the Sentinel out. No harm, no problem. Luke Alert gonna turn around. Beautiful, fearless power cleave combination. But here's the rest of the team. The Ring of Spears is down. Durgi is getting a good heal from somewhere, and that's a lot of damage coming from outside the ring. The Tornado is taking on Durgi's Advert and Lloydie, but not enough to take them down. That's going to be a full retreat from both teams. A lot of violence, a lot of moves, a lot of ultimates. not a lot of death. So great defensive measures from both teams right there.
Yeah, Lloydie came back in with 200 health, and he was like, I need to support my team. He threw in the crush, and it gave his team just enough room, because you don't want to sit lands. He's probably doing at least 500 damage right now. It gave his team just the room they needed to get out of there. Georgius is going to continue to look for initiation. There's a preemptive strike charging up, taunts off the bubble from Ao Kwong, who, despite his very defensive build, still does a lot of damage as Rear Tempest connects. But no, it's going to be Luke looking into the backline. Will find Sinantri, and Sinantri's actually taking a lot of damage. Cavalry charge coming through onto the backline is Ninja Dimmy. Freya into the air. Nido's Canali in trouble. Spirit Tempest will find Sinantri. He has to get out now, but a banish into Lawbringer. What a cool combo.
That definitely is a cool combo. The ultimate from Lloydie is going to miss. He's going to walk away with full HP. So another 1-for-0 trade from Mathletes. They are shortening this up. What previously was a much larger lead is now sitting at just 30 tickets. Very comebackable, if I can make up my own word real quick. And this is something that Mathletes is going to want to repeat and continue in order to win the game.
Yeah, it's such a strong combo from Scylla. It's the root into the ult. But remember, Tyr has a passive. He's only controlled for 1 second max by, I believe, every crowd control in the game aside from lockups. So you can't root into ults on him. He's able to dash out of it. Lloydie needs to remember that and not try and combo down the Tyr. Go for the other targets if possible. He has to find a really good line. I have a monster at Luke Alert, not letting Lloydie get out of this at all and forcing him back. I5 is going to need to disengage as their damage is very far away. Advert has actually made a few members onto him, but the crush will not find his mark.
Yeah, the crush is going to miss, and this seems to be a nice scrum. Down comes the Ring of Spears, and out comes the Dragon. Going to miss a whole bunch, but one person got ticked off in the front. Not enough to bring them down. Teams are split. Ninja Dimmy in the backline. Going to get the stun, as well as the Defender Olympus. The stun is actually going to miss, but the Defender is not. It's going to land on the Monkey. Not enough to bring him down. Now that's going to be enough. Sinantri going to bring down the Freya. Crazy Kennedy paying for his transgression. Great Fearless onto Sinantri. He's going to be able to get out of there almost. The good heal from Guan Yu. It's enough to bring him out. Not quite. The blink and the Fearless power cleave. Second Fearless. Luke Alert brings him down. Absolutely insane play coming there. Not even going to have to pay for it. Luke Alert, Life Alert. He gets away.
Now, Luke Alert is just playing this tier really, really well. Lloydie will be in trouble, but not that much as he is able to dash away. Just enough trouble to force the dash, not enough trouble to catch him before he really, really could. And Lloydie is really doing a nice job of playing very, very safe on this Scylla, but Luke Alert is doing an even better job of keeping the pressure on. Scylla's not having an easy time so far, and I5 to some extent has lost their momentum, right? They're just going up and up and up, and now, since the 7-minute mark, they've been staying even. But hey, even still 50 tickets. Even is still pretty good.
Yeah, you're 100%. The momentum is now definitely beneath the Mathletes' wings, so to speak. But they do have it's still an uphill climb. They do have a lot of points to get back. They do have a lot of stuff that they need to do in order to make this travel worth it. But that Fearless is the first step to it. Great job. Lots of damage onto Lloydie. He's going to Sentinel out of there. The jump in place from Luke Alert is going to be enough to slow, but not enough to kill. And now Sinatri's going to turn around onto Tyr. Nasty Devast is actually going to get Lloydie in the back. That's 1-for-1. Advert's going to kill the Dragon. Ninja Dimmy's going to kill the Valkyrie. That's a 3-for-1 trade right there. Going the way of I5. That's what they're used to. That's what they want, and that's what they're going to continue. Just putting down the Mathletes, saying, no, we are still here, and we are not ready to give you the momentum. Immediately taken away by I5. Sitting at just beneath the 15-minute mark here with Kret. My name is F. And we see a 20 ticket lead in the way of I5. A lot smaller than or a 70. Whoops. A 70 ticket lead by the way of I5.
Yeah, and you know, Lloydie, he died there, but he came in and dropped I'm a Monster instead of trying to escape with it. He knew his team could get really aggressive off of it. Beautiful play there coming out from Lloydie, and lots of respect going his way. Now we do have a 12 kill difference coming out from I5, doing well in that respect, but they gotta keep finding the damage in the right places. Luke Alert is just not letting Lloydie do his job. But there's the ring, there's the horse in the ring. Spirit come through, will find Sinantri, and you know, sometimes Odin's Cage does work against you.
That's very true. Odin is a friend to no one, somebody said to me once upon a time, and that's pretty much what we're looking at. Crazy Kennedy's going to be in the air after a lot of aggression onto him. Sinatri caught out, great displacement by the Fearless coming out of Life Alert, but not enough to bring him down. All 4 members of Mathletes are down low, and the Alquang is full HP, so they're all going to have to walk back to their own base. Nobody died, but nobody lived either. Everybody was pretty low and couldn't progress onto the enemy, so they all had to return to base, and now they're going to look for something. They're going to look to make something happen, Cred. What are Mathletes going to look to make happen as they sit almost exactly 50 credits below?
Yeah, I think Mathletes needs to make better use of anti-heal right now. W1D1 may not seem like the biggest healer, but right now Ninja Dimmy has healed 13,000 damage. And that is a lot in 17 minutes. That's a lot, but Odin's Ring is down. Luke Alert was not able to find Lloydie that time. Lloydie now coming to that fight with full health. Luke Alert will take a fair amount of damage, going to be able to Lawbringer lay, but Ninja Dimmy is going on Alquang. He's got the help of his friend Athena. Fierce Temp is going to peel a lot, but pulled into the shield wall. Alquang will fall to Sinatri, and now a big fight breaking out. Crush will find 3 targets, and Lloydie is now a monster coming in for a nasty Devastate.
Not able to secure the kill with the monster, so that's going to be the end of that ultimate. No longer continuing. Dirgy's on top of the tower. That tower does a lot of damage, by the way, but so does I5, deleting Crazy Kennedy. I swear he was there for a second, but the second you turn around, he wasn't. But now Advert's going to pay for it. Good beads, but not good enough. White is going to take him down with some pure damage from the Dragon. Doesn't even need the displacement of the Fearless that he beads out of, but was good enough with the damage from Alquang. Now you have 2 members of I5 kind of caught out. A bad knockback is going to secure Lloydie's life so that he can survive, but Sinatri surrounded by Mathletes. He's going to get away, Cret. Absolutely incredible.
Shock, man. He's just so hard to kill. And Sinatri is actually building fairly tanky with that Urchin likely fully stacked up by now. The Jai's Blessing, he is just not going to be going down anytime soon, especially once he finishes that Shifter Shield. And actually getting a really large amount of damage too. Sinatri is just such a titan right now. Sitting at second most player damage on the team, behind Lloydie. Of course behind Lloydie. He wouldn't be doing the job if he wasn't at the top. But here comes another engaged Lawbringer coming in. And he found Dirgius and decided he didn't want to fearless him. Advert able to CC immune that Ninja Dimmy inside the cage. I'm a monster comes through doing nice damage, not securing any kills. Cataclysm used for a bit of disengage, but Nidus Canali doesn't have a way out after that one.
Yeah, Advert's going to get credit for that kill right there. Geb, not eternally tanky, just kind of tanky. The double Fearless is good. Life Alert, Luke Alert has been absolutely on point with those Fearlesses. Unfortunately, not enough follow-up right there. I5 is virtually doubling, or is doubling what Mathletes has in the way of tickets. 122 to 56 right here, and they're going to look for another fight. The Weakening's out, a good taunt by Dirgius is going to prevent Luke Alert from doing much. A missed Fearless means he's going to have to find his way out, but now he's going to Fearless into the enemy. Gonna look for something here, Cret. Just gonna seem to beast it down.
Yeah, Luke Alert really just doesn't like Lloydie. Either he's got something against him personally, or the shot caller of Mathlete said, all right, Luke, your job is to kill the Scylla. Either way, he's been doing a really, really good job of pressuring Lloydie, but isn't able to find those kills solo. That's partially Lloydie playing well and building really strong defensive actives, having that greater Aegis and the greater Purification. It's also Peel coming from Lloydie's team, and it's also just Luke Alert's trying to do it by himself. None of the damage on Mathlete can get close enough to Lloydie without walking past that 4-man front line. I mean,
right.
How do you even do that, right? They, even if without using abilities, they'll just stand in your way.
Yeah, but what I really like coming out of Nito Scanali is the use of the knockup from Geb. He's using his knockup every 30 seconds to make sure there are no Magi's Blessings, and then he's going to blink in to get the Cataclysm onto Lloydie. Lloydie's going to have to be forced out of that fight. Kill or no kill, he's no longer here, and that's what Mathletes are looking for. Surrounded by 3 members of I5 is Crazy Kennedy, walking the wrong wrong direction. They split this fight up. They have 3 different fights going on. First, beginning, middle, and last. And they're trying to figure out who to kill. Not enough target calling is being called by either team. Split TPS across the board. Very sloppy engagement. But now they're looking at Crazy Kennedy, or they were before he was deleted completely by Lloydie. Sinatri in a lot of trouble right now. Going to go up on the storm call, but he's going to get away. Almost no questions asked. Just barely clinging on by the skin of his teeth. 3 members of Mathletes are here. 4 members of I5 are here. How's this going to end up, Kret?
Luke Alert's going to be in trouble. Dirgy is waiting for that taunt to come back up, but the banish onto 2 will keep them alive. Sikkim does not connect. Lloydie is going to be forced back, but Lloydie's playing that fight was just so strong. He stayed in the back, and he waited. And he said, team, bring them back to me. I can't come out. There's a Geb standing in front of me. I can't walk past the Geb. I can't use my Sentinel to get past the Geb. I have to stay here. Bring them to me. And Sinatri got low, and he ran away. And he ran to Lloydie, and finally, the team fight got close enough to Scylla that she could just drop a crush and delete Crazy Kennedy. Here comes the Cataclysm onto 3, but there's really no good follow-up. Valkyrie's Discretion is taken down. Dirgius is going to charge forward. He's going to find Crazy Kennedy. The Storm Shield does come out to cleanse that Ninja Dimmy in the back in a fair amount of trouble. Lloydie's rotating over. He's going to find Sikkim onto Tyr. There's the crush. Tyr dropped to half, but he's not very killable,
alive.
Honestly. Yeah, he's completely alive there. You really expect Scylla to do no more, but Scylla is in trouble now. Lloydie getting very low. Jingle Bag does not connect. Blink in, Rollout securing the kill. Rollout does a lot of damage.
Rollout does do a lot of damage. 7 tickets remaining from Mathletes. That's 2 kills or a couple of big minions. Or they're very close to death right now. Mathletes really needs to hang on. All hands on deck, essentially. Luke Alert going in onto Dirgy is probably the wrong target, as he is the Athena, rocking plenty of what. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 Voidstone. You can call a tank item. 4.5 tank items on that Dirgius character, so not going to be the ideal target right here. But you know, now you have 2 members looking at him. Now they're looking for something else. Cretin, with 6 tickets remaining, Mathletes really need to pull something out of thin air.
Yeah, but Newska now is looking for it. He's trying to find the Cataclysm. Spirit Tempest comes through, will connect onto Ninja Dimmy, and now Frey's trying to do damage. Fearless Dimmy's in a tough spot, gets on his horse, and he's going to actually turn back in, stunning out Luke Alert. Talu Assault coming through, but that's not going to kill. Let's face it, Luke Alert is going down anytime soon. But Lloydie, he's a monster. We'll find damage onto Luke Alert once again, sitting at 50% health now. There's another crush down to just 10%, 200 health. He's gonna dash away, blink away, and he's just fine. You're not killing Luke Alert.
1 ticket remaining,
but 1 ticket remaining. It will fall nonetheless. Luke Alert baited so much, but even then, Lloydie, his crush came back up. He finally found a target he could kill. It's Alquag, and I don't know how many times I said his name. Lloydie crushed it that match.
No pun intended, hopefully, coming out.
It actually was not intended.
No pun intended, coming out of Kret, my co-caster right there. Crush, of course, being Scylla's second ability, the slow into damage. So great job coming out of there. You know, we talked about him ad nauseum before the match, Kret, and I wanted to avoid mentioning him, but Dirgius went 2-0-23, man. Great play from the Athena. Really doing everything we needed to see. Not so perfect as we saw some previous Athenas do. We saw a lot of perfect taunts into other abilities, but just the ability to control the game. I really think the controller of this game was more Advert. Odin did a lot more work than we saw Athena do in previous matches, but somehow Dirgius managed not to die and get away with having a slash on of 2-0-13.
Yeah, it's a pretty good slash line. You're going to be happy about that one. And Advert did start a lot of the fights, but it was Dirgius playing multiple roles. He had a little bit of peel for Lloydie. He would dash in and start mini fights, right? Get those 2-man toss, say, "Hey, react to this. You have to do something, or we're gonna kill you." You know, we'll land a crush. We'll come with Talu Assault. Do something. Get out of this. Forcing the team to use beats, reposition, whatever. And then when Advert actually started a fight with that Ring of Spears, Dirgius was right there with the Defender of Olympus, dropping that ultimate immediately. He did a really good job there, playing multiple roles. But you also got to give it to team captain Sinantri. Chalk was simultaneously huge frontline pressure damage,
Oh yeah.
and then he was also bait. Like, nobody baited that game like Sinatri on Shock. Except for Luke Alert, who just baited so much damage.
I think you're being a little bit generous. All right, Sinatri seemed to have baited a lot, Cret. I think Sinatri just got into a lot of trouble. All right.
Yeah, but he's Shock. What's the difference between trouble and bait? You're not dying either way.
You're 100% true right there. And that's pretty much the story of this game. Coming up next, we're going to see Cognitive Gaming versus, I got to take a look at these. It's going to be Team Flex. It's going to be Cognitive Gaming versus Flex. So we're going to see the previous #1 seed, undefeated in the path to Smite launch. Not so lucky in the actual Smite launch tournament, but did do well themselves. We're going to see what they can bring to Arena, and we're going to see what newcomers Flex can do as well. For Cret, my name is F. We'll see you very, very soon. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name's F. I'm still joined here by Cret, and we have a match coming up for you. Very excited to check out Andenster and the rest of his team, Cognitive Gaming versus Flex.
Boy, what a great matchup we've got here. I mean, Cognitive Gaming, they have had some really good performances in the past. I think some people would argue underperforming at the launch tournament.
Yeah.
But they came back strong last week in the Conquest Tournament, and I believe they 2-0'd Dignitas, if my memory serves. Now they're going to look to take down the Arena Cup, and I think they could really do it, but Flex is a tough team to go up against.
Yeah, Flex is definitely one of the stronger Arena teams, or so I've heard. I'm very much injected into the Conquest scene, and admittedly, I know a couple of the names, Rage, Superbia, but I'm not always down into it. When Alienware comes through and puts on these giant tournaments, though, can't help but be interested. And like you said, we did see Cognitive kind of drop the ball at their first LAN tournament. I don't expect that to happen in the secondary LAN tournament, but something that needs to be spoken about, Cret. Cognitive Gaming has a new support, and he goes by the name of Jeff Hidla.
Who's Jeff Hidla? Oh, Jeff Hidla, right. From Denial, one of the best supports in North America. And here's the thing, right? Denial wasn't performing well. That's just truth. And people were still saying Jeff's one of the best supports in North America. People were still saying he is the best support in North America. Now, here's his chance to prove it. And unsurprisingly, 3 support bans coming out.
Yeah, I mean,
clearly there's a plan.
Yeah, Kuba Karma coming out, Geb and Bacchus, although Geb and Bacchus being banned by Cognitive Gaming themselves. So, although Jeff is one of the better Bacchus players I've ever seen, they're going to go ahead and choose to ban them themselves. But the first Zeus pick is going to get through. First pick almost instantly locked Zeus for Cognitive Gaming.
But for Flex, I mean, you've got such a strong lineup, and it's important to note Gitsticker, one of their I think I actually could say their star player, is at the top of the ladder in Arena, at the top of the ladder in 3v3, at the top of the ladder in 1v1. He's just a master of the alternative game modes. I'm sure if there was a domination tournament, he'd be right there, and he'd be winning it.
Anatoly would win.
Yeah, okay. But Gitsticker would be number 2.
And we're going to see Gitsticker lock in the tier, and Ares is going to be locked in as well for Team Flex. So we're going to check out what they bring to the table. And Cog knows what they want to play. Freya, Odin, Locke. Already Cognitive Gaming is looking extremely scary. Zeus, Odin, hey, you got a circle? I got a circle. Let's put our circles together, and they can't escape. And it's already scary. And then he tossed Freya into the mix. Whether that's going to be piloted by Barracuda or Andenster, it's very scary.
Oh, man, Zeus Odin went through it. It's so scary, right? But imagine the confidence of Flex. They saw the Zeus, and then they picked Ares tier. Very strong characters, especially in Arena, and still they let through the Zeus Odin. They're going to go into Chunga Nemesis, and those are also very strong characters. Nemesis able to help carve through those frontline characters that we've seen be so tanky in the past, so resilient, or help carve through the backline characters and make their squishy protections even smaller. And then Chunga with one of the best teamfight ultimates in the game. maybe the best.
I
Certainly the best second
Yeah,
teamfight
it's
ultimate, right? Like if you have a team fight and use one team fight ultimate, and then you're like you have to choose which ultimate to use next, it's Waxing Moon, hands down.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument to be had over what's the best team fight ultimate or move, period. And Waxing Moon is one that's going to come up in every single conversation you have about that. We're going to see Shibalanki and Guan Yu be locked in for Cognitive Gaming. It's a very, very, very scary and potent lineup right there. I am already scared for what Cognitive Gaming is going to be able to do with this lineup. So something Team Flex really needs to watch out for. Oh my god.
Yeah, but Kronos is being hovered over right now, and Kronos is he's always been a late game powerhouse because he just is really fast. And he does a lot of damage. He's got a stun, he's hard to lock down, and Cognitive Gaming actually doesn't have the dive to kill Kronos. They don't have a good way to lock him down. In the late game, you might just see Kronos going for the backline, going for Zeus or Freya, and trying to straight up kill them, and it really would come down to who can hit the auto attacks on the fast moving target, right? Can Anster land those pulses from Freya, or can Explicit land those hits from Kronos, and that's just a straight up skill matchup of who can hit the autos, because they're both gonna die in like 5 hits.
Of course. Odin was picked second, and Flex went ahead and picked every god in the world that can't get out of an Odin ring. I see a lot of legendaries, and the skill on these gods, first of all, Swollen 8 has to be one of 2 legendary Ares world.
I think the other one is
shouts to Fats. Yeah, shouts to Fats. The only other guy that has a legendary Ares. And immediately I'm gonna have like 20 people in chat calling me out on that because their sister's cousin's dog has a legendary Ares. But realistically, these legendaries have to really outperform their kits. You have the Odin ring, and Jeff Hindla, A, is a good Odin, but B, Ring of Spears is just a powerful ability. And the players here that have these legendaries have to outperform the ability to not get out of that ring very much so. You know, they're just not going to be able to get out. And that's usually, you wouldn't pick those against Odin, but legendary, you assume that they know the characters in and the characters out, and you can kind of hope that that's a situation that they'll be able to outplay as opposed to get out-ringed. So we'll see coming up next if Cognitive Gaming can beat Flex with their ridiculous choices alone, or if Flex's natural ability are going to outplay their picks for this next matchup. For Kret, my name is F. We'll see you very soon after the break. And we're back. F. and Kret back with your first day, Game 5 of your Alienware Arena Cup tournament. $10,000 are on the line. Cognitive Gaming and Flex are going to face off in this matchup right here, right now. Cognitive Gaming has much of the old roster you are used to seeing. MLC Stealth on that Zeus. Barracuda playing the Hunter on Shibalanki. Anderson is going to play that Freya Omegatron on Guan Yu. And the new recent addition, Jeff Hindla is going to be playing Odin with the Gungir's Smite. We'll see what they can do against Team Flex.
Team Flex on the other side of the map, starting by clearing the speed buff and the red buff simultaneously. They're going to leave the blue, but they're heading to the middle lane. It's Git Sticker on Nemesis, Arabella on Shuka, Explicit on Kronos, Swollen 8 on Ares, and Timed on Tier. And that's a very interesting strategy.
Yeah. Very, very interesting stuff coming up here. I love the instantaneous combat blink coming out of Arabella, knowing just how soon that Odin ring is going to come up. Opting to get that blink very, very soon. So actually going to only get rank 1 of boots in an effort to get that active, which is very, very important, as it doesn't matter how much damage or magical power you have.
Cox invading though.
Yeah. They're gonna get
looking for that blue. It will not reset. Going back to Flex Tier with the Fearless. Gonna find Jeff Hindla in the front line, but Odin doesn't really care about that one. Looks like Cog's gonna re-engage. Rising Jaguar coming through. Get Sticker very low. Level 5s are starting to hit, and there's going to be a detonate if he can find the cooldown. Doesn't even need it. MLC Stealth with the auto attack to secure. Cavalry Charge coming through. They're gonna dive the tower. Griffin Angel.
The tower Phoenix Angel guy over there in the back is going to be Dove. Going to do a little bit of damage right there. But nothing too crazy gonna come out. Just a single kill, being credited to MLC Stealth, able to really secure that kill. And right now we don't have too much of a lead. We just have about 5 tickets in the way of Cognitive Gaming, but that's absolutely
hold
nothing.
On, though, because this wave up here that Cog is freezing right now, that's the wave that Flex already cleared. They're ahead by the 5 tickets plus this wave. They're actually zoning and just gonna collect these minions, pick up those last hits, and they're saying, "Come at us. We still have Zeus Odin. It's still on the table." And now, granted, Flex has all 5 ultimates up, and Cognitive Gaming used 3 of their 5 ultimates, but they still have Zeus Odin. Ares coming in. He's gonna find 4, ringed in, and there's not gonna be a lightning storm just yet. But Barracuda's in trouble.
Barracuda definitely is in a little bit of trouble, but not too much, as he was able to get away scot-free. 4 members of Cognitive Gaming, or 2 members of Cog, are going to stay up, while the rest cycle back. Kuda's going to come back up into lane, collect some experience from these minions, and we're going to see basically just a reset again. These teams are going to be careful until they can find out exactly what they're looking for. Flex has been in and around Arena for a while, and Cognitive Gaming knows high-level competition. So both of the teams are going to look to not make mistakes, and Cognitive Gaming has this freeze mode, has this zone-out move done so well.
Yeah, they're really milking it right now. I like that they didn't use their Lightning Storm there. Still said, nah, it's just an Ares. I can do better. I can save my ultimate, and it's possible that Solonate wouldn't have died there. He does have a Sovereignty online, though, so that is a patch. But Jeff Inla has one of his own. There comes the Darkest of Nights, and Barracuda is going to get some damage on the Solonate. He's getting aggressed off, but a nice 3-man waxing move. Jeff Inla is getting pushed. He's getting low. Cavalry charge in the back. Valkyrie's Discretion comes out. Lightning Storm onto Explicit, who will rewind Omegatron, getting very low. Heals up. Anster with the double, looking for Git Sticker. Tyr coming in, will stomp out Omegatron, but timed is
gonna pay for it. Yeah, it was great getting Omegatron. I don't think that was necessarily worth it. Omega definitely, he almost got out, and Tyr made sure that didn't happen, but do I have to spell out how quickly Cognitive collapsed onto that situation? They were not going to let Tyr get their teammate for free, and here you can see that the experience coming out. They're right here already waiting for these buffs, and here comes the Ares ultimate. Grab 3 members. That's going to be a great setup. Double juggle coming out from the Tyr. Swollenade's going to bring down Anderson. MLC Stealth getting down very low due to the Ares damage. Gitsticker going to try and take him down. Gets the kill onto the Zeus. Now 3 members of Cognitive Gaming have to fall back. That is a 2-for-1 engagement from Flex. The game is now exactly tied.
Yeah, Cognitive Gaming just gave up so many kills there off of that Ares. Now, granted, Jeff Inla did drop the ring. He said, all right, I'm not going to let my team get pulled into you guys. You're going to be walled off. And that helps. It's the protections as well. And that helped a lot in that Flex couldn't do as much damage. They couldn't get in, but nonetheless, they were able to pick up 2 kills.
Yeah, I mean, the important part of that ring was the protections. I mean, still 2 kills, but 2 kills is better than 5. Ultimate coming out from Barracuda. This is going to set up the intricate assessment on into the attack. Going to miss the stun onto Gitsticker, but Omega's going to get him anyway, regardless. Doesn't need any teammates. Barracuda's going to get the Ares in the back line. You have 3 members getting low. The poison is not online for Arabella. Neither is the detonate. Oh, so close right there. 3 members of Flex are going to make it back home. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, but still, Barracuda has stacks, right? Not in his build, but he's got those passive stacks. He's going to get 2. Once he gets to 6, you're going to be scared. And the other thing is, how is he building, right? He's probably not going to be leveling up Darkest of Nights. He's probably right now maxing Poison Darts and Rising Jaguar. Yeah. Then, once he finishes those, moving on to Branching Bolas. And Branching Bolas per rank adds 10 damage.
It's a lot of damage 3, for the basics.
That's 50. Or rank 5, that's 50. That's a lot of damage. It's going to go into crits when he's built them. He's got a Joden's for a little bit more damage. So Solonate is really getting those money ultimates. We'll pull Omega and Jeff. They're not too worried, though. Omega does receive Divine Judgment, and he will be judged.
Omega should be worried.
Down.
Gonna take it down right there. Omega instantly annihilated. You know, Guan Yu isn't, we think of him as a tanky character, but right now all he really has is Heart of the Urchin and a level 1 cloak. Not so tanky just yet. Gonna need a couple more items, you know. Built as a warrior, he has some natural tanky stats to his nature, but you saw he just got deleted. Ares does a decent amount of damage by himself. The Chrono stun comes out instantaneously. It's going to be just good and pretty much damage onto whoever Flex decides to set their sights onto. So that's going to be a problem. And it looks like they're making good choice. They're making a good choice by targeting Omega over and over again.
Yeah, Omega will be dead 2 times, highest on his team, and you know that Divine Judgment, despite his protections, allows him to just be carved through. So Soul Knight taking a fair amount of damage from Freya. You can't really duel the Freya just yet. Eventually, Ares can duel players, other players, just with his chains because they do so much damage, but it's still Freya. She will still kill you, and Anster is not that far from Demonic Grip. He's sitting at 1,000 gold and should be getting it within a minute, easily.
Yeah, he's going to go for that penetration, that early penetration. Of course, it's going to give him attack speed and 60 magical power as well, but it's all about the penetration. He's looking to cut through the defenses of the enemies and make sure that that Heart of the Urchin doesn't do too much in the way of protecting.
Yeah, and so it's going to be just Enster waiting to come online, but, well, Kronos could be doing much the same thing. His build, though, is a little different. He's going to go cooldown boots into Kronos Pendant, then building into, I'd assume, a Polynomicon, but not having Pen will reduce the damage he deals substantially. Ares going to blink in. He finds chains onto 3, pulls 1. It's just Jeff Hinla, but the engagement comes out. Mega's already in the backline. Barracuda getting damage off. Explicit will be trapped in the ring. Lightning Storm comes down, but the ring will not keep Kronos in. Swollen little fall tier on the backline, does not find stealth, and now he's looking for Barracuda. Barracuda will be able to move back to the wave, clear those minions, which is important, and now timed. His death is an inevitability.
Wow, that was a lot of damage coming out onto that tier, surrounded by 4 members of Cognitive Gaming, not able to get anywhere. And Barracuda with a great kill on Explicit in the back line. I personally did not think that was going anywhere, but able to get their last tail end of the Rising Jaguar. Barracuda, knowing just exactly how long that radius is, was able to get in and get out in one Rising Jaguar. Great move coming out there.
Anster on the left-hand side, he wanted that red, and all of Flex showed up to say, hey, you're not getting it. Tries for the banish to make the reset happen. Can't get it, but the payload is halfway up the field. The ultimates are down on all counts, and this is going to be a straight-up brawl to get the payload, and Jeff Henla taking a fair amount of damage. Stealth as well, but it's going to be Swollen getting very low. Barracuda trying to push the payload in that last little bit. Explicit gets very low. Jeff Hinla, they're body blocking it. The payload will fall, but 3 kills, and it doesn't matter. Payload's 10 points. Kills are 5 each. Swollen gets very low. Will land the pull. Dies nonetheless. Explicit trying to get damage off. He doesn't have it. Lawbringer coming in, but there's 4 people in the cage. They have protection. Fearless will find 3, 2, and that's going to be another double Omega has to just get out. Oh my god.
Overstayedwelcome.com. Cognitive Gaming visited that website recently. MLC Stealth and Barracuda did not have to die right there. Definitely could have gotten out as soon as they got their kills, but the ring came down from Odin. Jeff really wanted to make the Nemesis, I think it was, die. Didn't happen as Get Sticker turned around with the help of his teammates. The respawns in Arena are so fast, Cret. And when you're like that, you have to take note. Sitting just above 10 minutes, we have a 50 ticket lead in the way of Flex Gaming. So, or in the way of Cognitive Gaming. So you're gonna have to watch out for that. 322 to 274. Flex is really gonna have to work this uphill battle. And here comes the fight coming out from Cog. They're gonna initiate with the Barracuda ultimate. Jeff Hindley gets Swollen, and MLC Stealth gets the triple kill onto 3 members of Flex. That's 4 down, 1 to go. And here they are going after Swollen right here. But again, here comes the rest of Team Flex. Cognitive Gaming learned the last time, and they're gonna get out of there.
Yeah, but there's a big issue for COG, and we almost saw it punish them there. Arena respawns. First of all, respawns get lower as you start to fall behind in tickets. Second of all, you respawn in waves. I believe a player died a little bit early there, starting respawn timer, let's call it 15 seconds. It ticked down as the fight was going, and all of Flex, except for Get Sticker, who died last, came back up, charged forward, but they couldn't find Cognitive. And Cognitive, they were looking for a pick there, couldn't find that either, but they're happy with that as long as they don't die to that respawn rush.
Yeah, exactly. It's the respawn is just so scary, and so is the ring. It's ringed and down, and Nemesis has nowhere to go. Anderson's gonna pick up Explicit in the backline, and Gitsticks gonna get jumped on in the front, but not enough to kill him. Odin's gonna walk away. Omegatron diving into the base. Oh, Anderson's gonna get Swollenate in the backline. Barracuda, they're trying to make something happen. They are sitting at an almost 100 ticket lead, and they feel it. MLC Stealth somehow gets Arabella. Great play right there. The blink across the walls coming. Swollenate wanted to retaliate, but Cog learned one time that Arena has short cooldowns on respawn. One time is all they needed to not get caught out again. We'll see if they get caught out again before the game ends. But Kret, they haven't been. They've learned, and it's very obvious that they learned.
Yeah, and here's part of the problem for Flex right now. We did mention, well, Kronos is a really strong late game character. He can really carry, but his build seems a little bit low on damage right now. No demonic grip. Kronos Pendant isn't necessarily the highest damage item. He has no pen, and when you look at the amount of damage he's actually dealt on his team, he's actually lower than Ares, and even with Nemesis, who's been having a little bit of a tough time there. But on Cognitive Game, you've got Zeus, you've got Freya, you've got Xbalanque, 3 incredibly hard carries, all sitting at level 17, all with very strong builds, and they just do too much damage. But Ares, he's not afraid. He's going to blink it. Darkest of Nights comes out. Ares is not able to find a pole, and he's just standing still. He's going to fall. Zeus ultimate on the back line. MLC Stealth will die to Gitsticker, but Gitsticker will not fall to the Valkyrie's discretion, able to dash away. But Barracuda, he's going to die. He gets the kill, and now he's just passed his 6 stacks. Barracuda's damage is really absurd.
Yeah, Barracuda's damage is just out of this world. We mentioned before, once he reaches 6 stacks of that ultimate or the passive, it's going to be a lot of damage. He now has 7 kills, 7, 1, and 17, sitting pretty. Jeff Hindler going to get stunned out by members of Team Flex. The Chronos specifically, he's going to be able to get away. And now we're going to see Andenster and Omegatron turn around and look towards the enemy team. All 5 members of Flex are right here in the middle. And we have Cognitive Gaming splitting up, looking at buffs, looking at minions, looking at each other. Cognitive Gaming is sitting severely in the driver's seat of this match, and they want to drive it on home.
Yeah, you know what the beauty of Xbalanque's passive power in this game mode is?
What's that?
Well, most hunters build that Heartseeker to get the damage to put into the crit multiplier, right? But in Arena, you're gonna have trouble stacking it. Xbalanque already has trouble stacking it, and then you're gonna die, and it's gonna happen, right? You will die eventually. Barracuda's only died once, but it's still dangerous. Then the Heartseeker's a little too risky to buy, but Xbalanque's passive from Branching Bola and from his actual 6-stack passive is gonna give him 80 power. That's essentially the value of Heartseeker, which sits at 75 when fully stacked, and makes it so he essentially has that item in his build without actually having the item. And it's going to mean his crits do that amount of damage. Now sitting right outside of the Deathbringer, just needing 1,400 gold for that one. We could see a Deathbringer on Xbalanque before the end of the game, and that's really when you're going to see Barracuda show us why he is Barracuda.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that people talk about Barracuda a lot. And it's definitely the skill, although Flex has come out. Swollenate has done well, and here comes a good ultimate from Swollenate. Gonna grab Jeff Hindler. Not gonna be enough to really secure anything right there. Barracuda's actually gonna kill the Nemesis in the backline. Hindler's gonna drop the Organ of Spears. Ares has nowhere to go, but first, Cognitive's gonna look at timed. The detonate is good. MLC Stealth gets him down. Now we have Ares stuck in the Lightning Storm. That's 1 tick on him, not enough to get the stun. Nowhere near is MLC Stealth to get the Chain Lightning, so not so much in that direction, but 1 is good enough. That's a 1-for-1 trade, tied for Anderson. Good trade right there for both teams, but when you're Flex, you don't want to make trades. You want to be making the big plays. You're down 100, Kret. You're down 100 just beneath 16 minutes. You want to make something happen, and 1-for-1 trades is not the way to do it.
Yeah, it's really not what needs to happen. But and here's what's happening. Here's why those 1-for-1 trades are happening. Because Cognitive Gaming is putting Omega and Jeff in the front. They're using the ring and the cavalry charge to keep Flex from fully committing. And while Gitsticker and Timed are able to dive the backline, Answer, Barracuda, and Stealth just turn on them 3-on-2, 3-on-1. And while Gitsticker did actually take down Enster there. He died immediately after. Timed was taken down as well, and Cognitive Gaming is looking so good. Up 100, and look, that's the damage on the Enster, right? Immediately drops to half, but he's gonna be okay. LC Stealth finds Explicit in the back with that Zeus damage. Timed is in trouble. Fearless does not connect. Waxing Moon is gonna look really, really good as Get Sticker takes down Enster in the back, but Get Sticker is gonna fall. Soul Nace in trouble too. Barracuda getting the sustained damage. Can't find the autos. Will be forced to back up, but Cognitive is still up over 100 tickets.
Yeah, great play right there. You know, Get Sticker got Enster down, which isn't necessarily the wrong choice, but there wasn't enough communication coming out from the team, and it was just split up completely. So it really wasn't able to capitalize off of anything, and it wound up being that even 1-for-1 trade. And then Flex lost the 4v4 essentially versus Cognitive. They didn't exactly feed, they didn't lose 3 or 2 players or anything, but they lost it by not winning it. As we sit, you know, we mentioned it before, the 100 ticket deficit. If you don't win, you lose. And that is a much more intrinsic statement than it seems at the surface. Am I right, Cret?
Yeah, you know, it's it's really,
it sounds so basic, but with respect to the situation, there's a lot more. You need to be winning these engagements. You need to be creating, not waiting.
Yeah, you have to attack the situation when you're down 100 points, right? You know, I think it comes down to you have to change something up. You have to go aggressive, because once you get down to 10, yeah, it doesn't tick down. But with Cognitive Gaming having 100 tickets to play with, they could just all-in you and wipe twice and still win. Jeff Hemla will get pulled. Waxing Moon connects onto Jeff. He doesn't mind too much. Embassy Stealth in the bat trying to survive. Barracuda getting very low. Gitsticker will find him, but he's trapped inside the ring as Anster cleans up Swollenate. Now Omega is diving up in the front. He's going to be forced to back out. Gitsticker's surviving there, so that's going to be a 1-for-1. Omega will take a fair amount of damage, but Stealth cleans up Arabella with that crazy Zeus damage, and the payload will fall as well. Stealth now looking for timed. Chain Lightning does not connect. He's going to find Gitsticker, and he could be in trouble here, but will get the detonate off. Jeff Hinla... Oh, actually, no. Stealth is in a lot of trouble. The chains will connect, so Olena's going to find that one. Jeff Hinla forced to jump away, but Barracuda zoning for him. That will be a 2-for-2 overall, but 2-for-2, 3-for-3, 1-for-1. That's fine with Cognitive. It just gets them closer and closer to the end of this game, and they're happy to maintain a 100-ticket lead.
Oh, without a doubt. And, you know, now becomes the beginning of the end. 40 tickets remain for Flex. We're going to see Cognitive go and pick up their speed buff and their damage cap. Actually, the damage buff is going to stay on the floor. They were just hitting that for a little bit of experience, a little bit of stuff like that. Didn't even want the buff, which is kind of curious. We're actually going to leave it for MLC Stealth. Zeus goes ahead and picks it up, and that's probably the person you want that damage buff on, as he's already doing massive damage and can do so very safely from a distance. So good choice to leave that for MLC Stealth, and we'll see what he can do with it in the next couple of minutes.
I mean, that's got to be adding, what, 200 magic power to him? 150? It's going to be huge, and when you consider, if I said 150 magic power to Mage, you're like, oh, that's a lot. If I said 150 magic power on Zeus, you're like, oh god, I don't want to deal with that. Because it's Zeus, and everything's just scarier about Zeus compared to some other mages. Now, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's not saying Agni's a bad pick, it's just, it's Zeus. There's a reason we've been banning him since last year. Consistently since last year. I mean, he's really good. Even with nerfs, he's still really good.
I mean, that's just the nature of his kit. He's just a good god, and overpowered isn't even the word I would use for him. He's just extremely good in 99% of situations, and maybe that's the difference. I don't even know. He's just very good, and, you know, he is counterable. It's really worth to say that he's counterable. There are a number of things that can stop Zeus in his tracks.
But here it is, the 10-ticket fight. Omega in the front takes Divine Judgment. Time will get taken down by Valkyrie's Discretion. Not able to get over the wall. Zeusol is coming out. They're so low. And it's going to be Omega getting out. Gitsticker escapes, but Explicit will fall, and Cognitive will move on.
Great play. Great play coming out from both teams, but Cognitive Gaming, you know, Krat, I think they won this in the picking stage.
Yeah, to some extent, but, you know, make no mistake, this is really important to talk about.
Okay.
It's not that Flex is bad. They're not. They're incredibly good. Cognitive Gaming just proved that they're a little bit stronger. I mean, once again, Gitsticker, I think he played that match very well. They were, what, 100 tickets behind, and he was still a threat to the backline. He was still taking down Anster or Barracuda or MLC Stealth. Pretty much every fight, one of them got taken down, unless they, you know, turned on him perfectly, had all of their actives up. he was still getting those kills. Get Sticker is an amazing player. Soul8 played that Ares really well as well, putting out the top damage on his team, but it just wasn't enough to deal with Zeus, Odin, Freya, and Xbalanque. And Omega on Guan Yu, well, he put out a lot of healing for just essentially healing him and Jeff in the front lines. Did a fair amount of damage too. All of Cognitive just really
to be
well.
To be fair, if we're going to talk about good plays from Flex, which I think, as you mentioned, Nemesis already, and I think Swollen8 got the short end of the stick. I think he had as many good initiates as he did poor initiates. Omega really liked to tower dive and base dive, and he got away with it because Cognitive plays as a unit, and Jeff and other members were there to help him out. But for all the good plays that Flex made despite the win, you know, I think Omega was a little too hungry right there, and kind of bit off more than he could chew. But he did not let himself fall either. So good play out of Guan Yu right there. And I guess the story real quick is Odin, Jeff Hindler, brand new on Cognitive Gaming, 2-0-26, but 12, 4, and 16 coming out of MLC Zeus. Absolutely incredible. And while I think there was a lot of good play that happened inside the game itself, Kret, I think that the fights were largely won in the picks and ban phase. I think the picks that Cognitive Gaming got away with probably shouldn't have been allowed. I think a lot of stuff that happened there wouldn't have happened really anywhere else. But our next game is going to be Team Dignitas. One of our premier conquest teams came in second place overall at the Smite Launch $200,000 tournament against Team Rage, a team, if you're familiar with the arena scene, you should know very well. So we'll see. This is going to be our last match of the day. Should be one of the most exciting as well. We'll see in just a couple of minutes if the arena prowess of Rage or the natural conquest ability of Dig will win overall. For Kret, my name is F. Dot. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon. And we're back for our last match of the day. Keep in mind, this is not the end of the Alienware Arena Cup tournament. My name is F. Dot. I'm joined here by Kret, and this is only day one of 4 days of our Alienware Arena Cup this time around. We have the best of the best teams battling out. We had a tournament bracket of 64. Absolutely insane. And they're all battling over $10,000. That's right, $10,000. Absolutely insane. So shouts to Alienware for sponsoring a tournament like this. Coming up next is going to be our last match of the day. As I mentioned previously, it's going to be Team Dignitas versus Team Rage. Two teams that definitely have what it takes to be the top of the top, the best of the best. Kret, tell us more about this matchup.
You know, Dignitas didn't get to play in the last Alienware Cup. So this is going to be their first showing as a team in Arena. They do scrim Arena in preparation for these tournaments. Not all the time, obviously,
right,
but when they know a tournament is coming up, they are ready and rearing to go. And you know, I think we could see some really interesting picks coming out of Dignitas. I mean, you've got such interesting god pools, right? Best is certainly a mage player. You're probably not going to see him on anything else, but maybe we'll see Habwa come out. Habwa? That certainly could be playable in arena setting. Or you could see him back on Ao Guang, or, you know, one of the things that we've seen him play in the past. Shadowq probably going to be taking up that tank role, but, I mean, he has been known to play some sort of bruisers in the tank role and could just go straight up bruiser. Either way, can't wait to see what Dignitas has got cooking for this tournament.
Yeah, definitely excited to see that. We're gonna have left. We're gonna have cognitive, not cognitive. We're gonna have Dignitas, Team Dignitas on your left-hand side. They're actually gonna opt to ban that Habwa, and Rage is gonna be on the right-hand side. They're gonna ban Geb. Who else do you expect to be banned right here?
Oh man, Habwa ban. That's interesting, but yeah,
that is really interesting.
I think Zeus is probably gonna get removed. I don't think Best has had a really good showing on Zeus historically. I'm not sure who they would play it with, but Zeus will be banned, so will be removed by Rage.
All right, we're gonna see. There we go, and the first pick goes to Zapman. He's gonna go ahead and mouse over it here. We're gonna see if that's gonna be locked in just yet. I like the tier pick. I don't know if he needs to be picked first, so I'm kind of confused.
Well, Officer J-Mac will play tier when given the chance. He's very, very comfortable on that character, but so is Lasses. I mean, Lasses put a lot of work into his tier. I think he puts as much work into his tier as he does into his biceps. He really puts a lot of work into his biceps. So Lasses spends time in the gym working that tier.
There we go.
I think it is a worthy first pick. Freya not available to be picked up, but Kumbhakarna and Scylla, those would be some interesting picks, and it would be the first Kumbhakarna in a stream match.
There we go. We get Kumbhakarna picked right there. Very, 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 very exciting. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And I want to see how well they can play him. Now we're going to see Shadowq and Anatoly. They're the ones that get the picks next. So we see a tank. Okay, the Odin. That's where I was going to guess. What do you think the third pick? Xbalanque. All right. All right. Dignitas pretty much. Maybe I should play. Just kidding, I definitely shouldn't. But those were going to be the two picks that I was going to go for. Odin, you guys already heard my Odin. I'm such an Odin fanboy, especially in Arena. It's just, I think Ares was the obvious go-to pick for Arena in the past. I think Odin has become the obvious pick now. Ares isn't even picked or banned, and Odin's getting picked first. And Xbalanque, we discussed, is that more intrinsic Arena pick. When you know Arena well enough, you understand what Xbalanque can bring to the table. And that's exactly what Dignitas is going to do.
Yeah, and you know, what it comes down to is the Ring of Spears just has so many uses, right? You can use it defensively. We saw Jeff Hanlon ring in his team and try and help them live through an Ares ult combo. You can use it to literally just lock people in and cage them in and keep them out of the fight. You can use it to kill people in the cage. You could just use it for so many things. It's great on a team that has that synergy. Poseidon will be hovered over by Rage, and Sun Wukong will also be hovered over. Both locked in, and Poseidon Sun Wukong is interesting to see that Poseidon when Ao Kuang is on the table, and to some extent I think Poseidon is the weaker form of Ao Kuang in Arena. They do have some different tendencies, as Poseidon's a little bit faster, but I think Spirit Tempest is a little bit less avoidable than the Kraken.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. You know, Zeus can do what Poseidon does, but spread out. The chain lightning can chain up, and then when everybody's spread out, detonate can pretty much do that sort of stuff. You know, and that's sort of what you could expect out of Zeus. But Poseidon has to do it all at once. So that's something that they're looking for, and that's something that Poseidon's going to be able to do. Agni and Chang'e being locked in for Team Dignitas on the left-hand side of the screen. I like those picks a lot. We discussed at length what Chang'e can bring to the table. Chang'e. And I really I just love Waxing Moon. Agni being picked. Agni's a good pick. We haven't seen him thus far in the Arena tournament, and it's a character that the best plays very well. It's a character that the best feels very confident on. I would expect it to be played by the best, and it's also a character that can do a lot of area of effect damage. So I'm excited to see Agni be played. I'm excited for this Dignitas lineup. I think Odin, Xbalanque, Agni, and Chang'e are very, very scary lineups. And then you put Tyr on Laz as a character that he's very confident on. That becomes scary. But you take a look over at the other side, Flex and Kret. What are you seeing with this lineup?
You know, Flex could have a lot of potential to combo people down off of Kumbhakarna's epic uppercut. Before we've seen with Najah, when people come crashing down into Spirit Tempest or Kraken, or more recently, I'm a Monster. Well, what about off of the epic uppercut, where you don't have to have Najah coming down at the same time, landing in a Kraken, landing in I'm a Monster? That could be really, really rough. Now, granted, when you land from Najah's Windfire Wheels, there's a little bit of a bounce, and it controls you just a little bit. Right. Whereas landing from the epic uppercut, you just hit the ground. You can use Aegis, and sometimes it can be hard to follow up perfectly there, and an Aegis can be used to avoid whatever ultimate is going to hit you. But I am interested in this Neath pick. Its last pick, it seems like the kind of pick that Rage really has a plan for, and yet I don't see it. It's not going to do nearly as much damage as Zatman on Xbalanque. It doesn't have the ultimate control of Darkest of Night, but she does have a fair amount of control as well. It's just, it's not a damage pick in my mind.
Yeah, no, Neith is not a damage pick. She's gonna go more support, and this is I love when Neiths play like this, and I trust that Flex and Officer JMac will be able to do this. Neith has great ability to control. She can root with the Spirit Arrow, she can stun with World Weaver, and with the use of backflip, the preemptive backflip to set up the weave, you can AoE root. That combined with a Poseidon and a Skilla can be very, very scary. That's what we're going to look for Neith. Less the damage and more the control, and I'm really excited to see how Flex can pull this, or I'm misspeaking the entire time, how Rage can pull this off. Rage is the team we're playing on the right-hand side, not Flex. I know I've said it a couple of times. That's my mistake. We're going to be seeing Rage, and I know that Rage is very, very competent in playing playing the arena. So I'm really excited to see this, and I want to see Neith work out. We're going to see just how well it works out in just a couple of minutes. For Kret, my name is F. Dot. We'll see you in the match very soon. Right out of the gates, looking for something to happen. Representing Team Dignitas, we have Anatoly on Chang'e, Shadow Q on Odin, Laz is on Tier, Zapman playing Shibalaki, and the best playing Agni. Looked like they wanted to shade over and make something happen against their enemy Rage, but opting just to go back to the buffs as they have just spawned. Tell us who's on Rage, Kret.
On Rage, your premier arena team is going to be Officer JMac on Neith, Astros on Poseidon, the Omelet King on Scylla, Infernal Twist on Sun Wukong, and Boyle on Kumba Karna. They're going to clear red, head straight for the wave, and start zoning out Dignitas to get an entire wave in. Such an inventive strategy, but best, maybe he can do something about this. No, it's going to be the creeps going in. Shadow Q, he's going to jump in. One goes in. Shadow Q in a tough spot, but he will be okay there. And now you see Lass's blink in, not going to find the blink that he needs, but still, really inventive play coming out of Rage. The downside is, 2 buff camps are up on the right-hand side, and Dignitas should be able to secure them.
You know, that's the immediate stuff that I want to see right away. You know, Arena is such a basic game on the surface, right? I said it before, kill the other guy and get your tickets, right? Like that's what you want to do. But in Arena, you know, Rage is showing us you said before they're the premier Arena team. You know, and Rage is proving that there are many other ways to do just that. So Dignitas is actually going to steal the speed camp, as you mentioned. The mana camp still remains. Rage has not gotten it just yet. But the experience of the gold comes so quickly in this mode that while it matters, you know, how much does it matter? But the ultimate matters. Shadow Q gonna lock in the Poseidon into this ring. We have 2 separate engagements going on. The Poseidon Kraken's gonna come out, but Lass is gonna take his life right before that. The Omelet King gonna take down Anatoly. A great ultimate from Skilla. The triple kill out of Skilla, looking for the quadra on Laz's quadra kill coming out of him. A good hit for the Zapman. Not enough to get him down for the Penta, but a great play. That is textbook how you play Skilla. Shouts to the Omelet King. Fantastic job right there. And that's a quadra kill before the 2nd minute.
Yeah, and what happened there was epic uppercut on Anatoly. That was the first kill, and it allowed the Cascade. Scylla is a character that has the potential for the Cascade, Penta, or Quadra, but Officer JMac will find a tough spot, pushed by that Fearless, able to backflip out, and Lasses disengages here, as it looks like Kumba Karna is trying to get aggressive on and will not find it. So yeah, as I was mentioning, Scylla, Cascade character, similar to Kali, where they have the potential to just kill everyone. If you play it right, you have the right timing, and, you know, map awareness, team awareness, there's just so many factors.
Yeah, there's incredible factors. I mean, we flirted with our pentakill at the 2-minute mark. I'm already excited, Kret. We have Dignitas down 30 tickets right now, or 20 tickets right now. Rage in the lead. We have a game before we even have a game right now. I'm super excited to see what Rage can bring to the table, as this is their premier mode. We can't say it enough. A lot of teams come into Arena being seasoned in Conquest. Well, for Rage, it's the other way around. They're seasoned in Arena. They know what they're doing, and they're here to prove it.
Yeah, and maybe this is going to be reasoning to ban Kumbhakarna in the subsequent rounds, but unfortunately for Dignitas, this is a best of one, and if Kumbhakarna proves too strong for them, they're going to just straight up be eliminated. But now Shadowq in the back gets a ring onto 2, no follow-up available. Girdle is out onto Rage, they're looking for the fight. Lassus will not find the blink he needs. Now he's in trouble, able to get over the Kraken, but there's I'm a Monster, connects onto 2 in the back. No Cascade this time, and Dignitas, they're looking. I don't know if they can find anything here, and it's just going to be a disengage from Rage.
Yeah, they really couldn't find anything right there. I think Dignitas was tricked. Somersault Cloud came out, and Dignitas dumped a lot into the decoy. Not sure that they realized that was a decoy. As with the Kraken coming out, there's a lot of stuff happening at that moment in time. So very easy to get mixed up with these ever-present, these omnipresent team fights. There really isn't a spot to hang out and think and recollect your thoughts as there is in Conquest. It's always a fight going on. And with a player, Shadowq keeps pushing these. He wants to make these things happen. It's even more so, even more exciting.
Right, now we do have the buffs coming back up. They are going to be a little staggered. Speed buff after Red. Red on the right-hand side also about to spawn. It looks like Dignitas will be uncontested on this left-hand side as they clear the speed buff. Give that to the member. And remember that partially buffs are experiencing gold. Partially, it's just the fact that buffs are good and they make you better for 2 minutes. Now, the right-hand side is available still, as Rage did not elect to take that red buff. And Dignitas, I'm sure they'd like to pick that up, but can they do it without getting picked off? The Whirlpool comes out, the buff is reset. Dignitas not going to really risk it with, maybe the last pick of the Whirlpool gets it. They're not gonna waste their time seeing if that happens.
Yeah, not at all. Definitely not something they want to indulge their enemies in. They want to get their own kills, not give up their own kills. So that's what we're going to see. This is actually, of course, as soon as I mention how often Shadowq wants to fight, Dignitas decides to take a passive break. They realize that they have a little bit of a deficit going on, and they don't want to extend that. Shadowq, of course, sitting in the front of his team. He's the front line along with Laz's, although Laz is kind of in between. He's a half and half as he wants to get the displacement, and he's able to take a couple of pokes, but he's still going to be aggressing. So here he is aggressing right here with the Fearless into the power cleave. That's a lot of damage onto J-Mac, but he's able to get out of there no problem. And the Ring of Spirits is down, but they're not going to be able to make anything happen off that. They're going to look behind it. Skill is going to get the shot. Not going to kill the best as he had hoped. The Kraken going to miss as well. Laz is surrounded by 4 members of the enemy team. Rage going to take down Laz's kill credit going to Infernal Twist. Shadowq very low as well as Volley, but a great passive use going to make him stay alive. Going to let him walk away no problem. Shouts to Kumbhakarna, the brand new god. Of course, for those unaware, you have to basic attack him 6 times before he's actually dead. The passive does have a 3-minute cooldown if I'm not mistaken. So there's that, but that particular time shows the power of that passive.
Yeah, that was, Kumbhakarna's passive, and this is weird to say in a game like Smite, but some MMO players might recognize the term. Kumbhakarna's passive, it's about dying in a good place, but Officer J-Mac, he doesn't have beads this time, will get taken down by Lassus in the back. Boyle taking a lot, doesn't have his passive available. Best will miss the Flame Wave. But here comes Shadowq. I'm a Monster does not connect, and Dignitas, they're looking aggressive. Anatoly wants Boyle, will not get messed out, able to find the kill, and Dignitas finds some of the kills that they need to come back. And now they're 20 behind. They used to be a little bit further behind, and yeah, they're coming back. And
yeah,
slowly, but they're coming.
Yeah, they're definitely coming back. Dignitas is not one that likes to sit in the second place seat. Not that anybody does, but they're definitely climbing back up. They're ready to make the climb. They're ready to make the uphill battle, etc. They're sitting down about 23 tickets at the moment. The 2 waves are going to spawn up here, so that should stay constant as long as both these teams nail these last hits, and it looks like they did. So great play right there. And we're going to see what happens in the next engagement. Laz is currently looking for something. Doesn't want to look for the Wukong, so he's going to back off. He's going to wait for his blink to come up, wait for him to be out of combat, and great play by Infernal Twist to keep Laz in combat. They're going to bring down Voyle, no problem. And the Omelet King is going to take down the best as well. Great 1-for-1 trade. The Omelet King in that ultimate. Down comes the Ring of Spears. Down comes the ultimate, but just dodged by Odin. Great jump coming out of Shadowq.
Yeah, now Zapman's getting aggressive with the poison darts, and Anatoly's in trouble using his Aegis. He'll be okay for now. Does not have Waxing Moon available as Last is forced to back out, and that's just going to be Dignitas hitting the retreat. They're going to go back to their base, heal up, and then look to re-engage, but there's still... You know, for a team that got quadra-killed at level 2, they're really not showing it.
Yeah, no, and I mean that's just the stoicism that comes with veteran play right here, right, Cret? 25 tickets down, they're still staying in this. They don't care if they were quadra killed, almost pentakilled out of the second minute. They're still here ready to fight, and they know that that's not the end of the game. They're not going to go on tilt. They're not going to go on slide. It's just they're consummate professionals right here, and they're showing it. They're still very much in this game, and they know it, and that Blink Fearless is going to prove that Lazarus still has something to show. So here he comes. He's actually going to get caught out. Great stun coming out underneath. That's what I was talking about earlier, and not enough to secure any deaths, though. And that's going to be a problem. Now comes Barracuda, or now comes Zapman with the ultimate, going to stun out Voil. Now they're looking towards the Kumbhakarna, not going to be able to take him down. Shadow Q going to have to turn around.
Anatoly gets very low and is forced out. Zapman looking for Infernal Twist, but it's going to be lasted with the Lawbringer into Fearless. Now running from the Omelet King. Omelet King dashes forward, no escape, and he could be in a lot of trouble. Path of Flames, so Agni's out of the ring, but the DOT will secure. Shadow Q is unable to KS that one for himself. And now Dignitas, they're getting really, really close to being caught up. 6 and 6 on kills, currently a wave up ahead, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 minions that will, we assume, die to Rage.
Yep.
And as a result, Dignitas will be at 289, Rage at 302 when these waves balance themselves out. That's going to be a 13 ticket difference, which at this point in the game, 10 minutes in, is not that much. If you go into the final 10 with a 10 ticket difference, you're going in with no difference.
Yeah, I mean, very true. It's going to be, it already is a very close game, and if this game continues the way it's going, it's going to continue to be very close. We have Laz's full actives already, so he's going to be able to build, items, no problem, no questions asked. Already level 3 blink. That's going to allow him to blink behind enemy lines every 45 seconds, and Shadow Q is actually going to take it down. He was in between 5 members of Rage. Don't know why he was there.
He was trying to cover for the best. The best got World Weavered, a Whirlpool is on him. He had to use beads to get out. Shadow Q covered successfully, but the best did fall.
Right.
Or Shadow Q did fall.
Yeah. The best got away because Shadow Q did fall. And at the end of the day, that's really what you want to look to your support to do. Shadow Q could do a decent amount of damage right there, as he is building, he does have penetration boots, but Sovereignty and Armored Cloak going to be built into the Height of the Urchin. He's going to be looking towards being more of a tanky support player, whereas the best is going to want to be able to build damage. So sacrificing himself for his carry, in this case, his mage carry, the best, that's definitely something, that's definitely a positive in his eyes. Great play.
And now, I think it's really unless he'll find the initiation, he's going to find Sun Wukong, who gets absolutely obliterated. I really did not expect Sun Wukong to die before the Fearless end. I thought he was a tanky character, but I guess Dignitas begs to differ.
Yeah, I mean, he has Height of the Urchin, and that's it. He does have Shell. I didn't see it pop off just there, but not very tanky. He has 2 aggressive items and only 1 defensive item. The stun is going to come out from the best. Very good onto Voil, but not enough to get the kill. The Omelet King is still in the ultimate, so that's going to go, and he's going to clear a little bit as he needed to use it before he just wasted it. So great job. I think he used it defensively, of course, when
No, that was an attempt at the blink uppercut. It didn't connect because of a dash and I believe the Moonlit Waltz. And he ulted before the person went up in the air, right? He was really ready, but he was ready for something that didn't happen. You want to hit confirm combos like that, just like a fighting game. Hit confirm before you combo.
Uh-oh, you're a man after DM Brandon's own heart with that terminology. I have no idea
what I'm saying about fighting games, though.
You're actually correct. I've become interested in the fighting game community because it's so interesting. The spatial awareness and the attention to details is similar to this game. It's very, you got to be very careful about where you're standing, and you'll see that in this next fight. You're gonna look for a blink coming in from Shadow Q or a jump coming in from Shadow Q to get the enemy out of position and ring them in, and they're gonna punish them because of that. Dignitas has been on the aggression the entire game, even though Rage has led the entire game. Dignitas has been the ones initiating the fights. So look out for that. They're only down 10 tickets. About 5 minutes ago, we were talking about a 25 ticket differential. Now we're talking about a 10 to 11 ticket differential. So Dignitas is making this climb. They're making this comeback, and they're not out of this game by any stretch of the word.
Yeah, they are really, really not. And they've been doing a really, really good job on buffs too. I don't think a buff clear has happened yet where Dignitas did not get at least 4.
Right. Yeah, they've been clearing out very well. You know, Dignitas is the ones that are definitely on top. Manicamp has been Rages, but that's about it. So there's that. And this looks like to be the next engagement. Darkest of Nights comes out. Nobody gets stunned. Great play from there. The shell's coming out though on the way of Team Rage. They have their sights onto Zapman, and they're gonna take him down if he doesn't Rising Jaguar away, which he does. Great play coming out of Zapman right there. Now Rage, 2 members are stuck in the ring. They're gonna get one away. Astro is gonna go down to the hand of the best. Lazes and Shadowcube gonna try to get away. 4 members of Rage are following, but 4 members of Dignitas are also on their way out. Anatoly fell in the middle of that engagement, so that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, and Rage currently leads at 13 minutes by 10 tickets.
Yeah, Anatoly he was caught out in a bad spot. He used Aegis to avoid I'm a Monster, but he just couldn't get out of the situation he was in. And still Dignitas is getting aggressive. Officer J-Mac will backflip. Last is not able to find that one. Loses his bubble there. But that'll be back up in 45 seconds along with his blink. And Dignitas is still looking for picks off of Lass's blink. They just need to find the right target. And they've proven so far that they can kill Sun Wukong. He's got a bubble though. That's not a good target. It's really Astro's J-Mac or Omelet King when they don't have beads available. Or if they're too slow on the beads, as Fearless does have some interesting interactives with Purification beads.
And the Purification beats at rank 3, of course, does do more than just get rid of crowd control. It reduces all cooldowns by 5 seconds. So you have a lot of cool interactions right there, as Kret just said, where you can use an ability, use beads, and use the same ability again a second time. So a lot of cool things coming out on the way of those beads. And here comes the blink into the yawn. The root, which is going to be beads out, so the uppercut's going to be no good. And the Omelet King is going to go down to Anatoly. Changes the way that went about 2 seconds ago. Laz is going to take down Officer J-Mac, and the rest of Team Rage is now in a little bit of trouble. All 5 members of Dignitas stuck in the Whirlpool, but Shadowcube is going to take down Infernal Twist. Now you have the Whirlpool out again, but 5 members of Dignitas on the come up right here. That's 1 large minion. You're going to get the rest of the wave, but the Omelet King is here to block it, and here comes the payload. Dignitas is going to opt to go back and not carry this payload in, so Rage should be able to get it, but now we have a lead change, ladies and gentlemen. Dignitas with their first lead of the game, 165 to 163. It is a minor lead, and they actually just swapped it back to Rage, but they have the lead after minions, and that is the first time anyone but Rage has held the lead in this entire match.
Yeah, so that's going to be a nice win for Dignitas. They finally got the lead. Best could be in trouble, able to dash away from the Mez, which does have a bit of a windup on it. Anatoly will be in trouble, and he's knocked up in the air. Epic uppercut. Will there be follow-up? Able to Aegis on landing. Zapman looking for Astro's crit. 690. He does so much damage. Now turning on to Boyle. 382, and Boyle in that passive. He's asleep, but not for long, as Zapman will get the double as he gets the last hit of that passive. I believe the kill goes to whoever gets the last hit on the passive, correct?
Yes, it definitely does. Zapman now has 4 stacks of that passive, sitting at a 4, 0, and 8 slash line. But ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned it before, it was a lead change just officially, just technically, even though it didn't quite matter, but now sitting almost 10 tickets up after minions, this is the lead to be spoken about. Dignitas now has a sufficient lead. It's still a very small lead, and Rages can definitely come back and swap that around, but this is the lead to actually talk about. Laz is going to go ahead and miss his ultimate, or miss his Fearless, and Zapman's going to come down after the uppercut. The immune is going to come out. No ultimate for you today, Mr. Poseidon. Skill is also going to miss that ultimate. Nothing there to be seen. Now Dignitas seems to be in the driver's seat. A couple of Agni bombs coming down, but again, that's just a decoy. Sun Wukong able to walk away, no problem, along with the rest of his team Rage. Right there.
Yeah, so Rage looked for the combo on his Zapman there, but they just couldn't find it. He waited until the last moment, and I think this is one of Zapman's most impressive skills as a player, is waiting until the last possible moment to dash away or use the Aegis. He wants to bait out as much as possible, because that either means his team can kill you, or his team can be safe. And in that situation, allowed his team to be safe. Anatoly will be caught out with a Spirit Arrow, but he's able to just dash out of that Whirlpool. Now, I do want to take a look quick for anti-heal. There's a Weakening Curse. Looks like that's it. And Anatoly has actually put out substantial healing. Zatman will avoid the combo. Omelet King, he was CC'd, couldn't follow up, and taking a fair amount of damage in I'm a Monster. Best not able to secure that kill, but Shadow Q gets it with the jump. Astra's in a bad spot, returning to the fountain. Going to be comboed out of that. Aegis and Zatman getting very low, will get taken down, but Best gets the return kill, and Dig is looking really good right now. They have been able to turn it around. Now they're up by 30, which previously was the peak of their deficit.
Yeah, I mean, they've turned this around. They went down 30, like you just said, and now they're up 30. Dignitas is feeling themselves, and for good reason. They have turned multiple encounters, and I told you, and as I mentioned this earlier around the 10-minute mark, even though they were losing, they had made 9 out of 10 initiates. They were doing most of the initiating whether or not they lost, and they knew that they had to stick to their plan, and that's that veteran mindset, Kret. It didn't work at the beginning, but they know that it's going to work either later on, or they know it's supposed to work at some point. So whether they made misplays or it just wasn't working out early, they recognized why it wasn't working out, and they stuck to their guns. Now you still see most of the initiates coming out from Dignitas, and they're making use of them. Another initiate coming out from Laz is going to go ahead and miss the Fearless, and Shadow Q is going to get stuck in the Whirlpool. The Kraken is going to be still up, not used quite yet. Infernal Twist getting pretty low, but he's up on that Somersault Cloud. Voil going to walk towards the back. Kraken's gonna miss. There it is. Not gonna really hit much of anybody, but Anatoly's up in the front line. Shadow Q in the back line. The Best gonna take down the Omelet King. Well, Zatman takes down Voil on the other side of the map. Officer J-Mac is hunting the Best, and the Best wants no part of it. And here comes Zatman, ready to box just a little bit, able to use Rising Jaguar to get out. And here comes Lazarus. Great combination. Fearless into the power cleave. One more shot. Not going to be able to get it. Neith is going to walk away, no problem. The ring comes out from Shadow Q, very defensive. And Dignitas is going to look to get out of there.
Yeah, Shadow Q using his ring for CC immunity there, but I don't think he's particularly worried about using it, as it is just a 70-second cooldown. But the biggest thing I want to highlight right now, the only anti-heal from Rage right now is a Weakening Curse, and yet Anatoly has healed for 14,473. That's more damage than Poseidon has dealt.
Damn.
And at that point, that means Poseidon needs to have a Divine Ruin, right? Or someone.
Oh, yeah.
Because the thing about Divine Ruin is, let's be honest, it's a bad damage item. Would you pay an item slot, not even if it was free, but it took an item slot, would you get 50 magic power, 15% lifesteal, 150 mana? No, that's not an efficient use of an item slot. But when you account for the fact that it reduces healing, and by reducing someone's healing, right, it effectively they're taking more damage. So if Anatoly heals for 200, you reduce it by 40%, then effectively you did 80 damage to them, right? Then it's very worthwhile, and I think Rage needs to have anti-heal, and they actually needed to have it, well, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that's the obvious oversight. And sitting at only 25 tickets to Dignitas' 66 at the 20-minute mark, I think Rage is certainly feeling it at the moment. They kind of need to be doing something different, but right now it might be too little, too late. Although in all of the dire situations we've seen today, I think this is the most comebackable, if I can use my own word that I made up earlier today. Comebackable is definitely in the mindset of Rage right now, as just a couple of team fights need to go their way before they can win this game.
That's a good word. Can I use that word?
Of course.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, I mean, if anyone can take advantage of this comebackable situation, it's going to be Rage. Best is going to be rooted out, forced to use beads. Last is not finding the clearance he needs, but they've got 50 points to play with. They need 2 kills and 2 minions, basically, to seal this game out. Shadow Q, he's going to receive the quack and doesn't really care. Astra's in the ring, will be about to take some damage, you'd assume, but he's staying alive. Zatman will actually fall to Infernal Twist. Astra's still alive. Best wants it, dashes forward, doesn't find the auto, and Astra's gets out. Anatoly and Lasses can't find the kills. The payload has spawned for Rage, but they're down to just about to be 5 tickets as Anatoly Well, there's a club minion on. We assume it will get in the portal. Let's call it an inevitable 5. And
All right.
Astros once again does not die. Best just cannot secure this Poseidon. It's a little comedic, honestly. And the payload, that's going to die to Zapman.
I mean, Poseidon did a fantastic job using Aegis at exactly the right time in the ring. A lot of times you get caught in the ring and you go, oh no, Aegis! But you gotta wait for the follow-up. You gotta wait for the follow-up.
That minion I was talking about didn't actually get last hit. Zapman like crit it or something and it drops like 5 health and then Archer takes it. So it wasn't an inevitable 5 from that minion. Caster's Curse, but they will still be at 5 points. Dignitas is 25. Unless they get 5 for 0'd, they will take this game. And they're going to go aggressive onto J-Mac. Boom comes out. Anatoly, he's in trouble. Will be able to Aegis on landing, but they just need 1 kill. Omelet King could be the one. Zapman Aegis is I'm a Monster is Voil. He's at 50%. J-Mac will fall. The best will take the kill, and Dignitas will move on, taking the game over Rage, potentially one of the favorites to win, as they are such a hyped up arena team. But Dignitas is not afraid.
Oh, not at all. That was a great game. I'm really excited to have watched that one. That was a really close one. It was about a 30-minute match just underneath at 28-39. We had 2 of the more premier teams for our Alienware Arena Cup. We had Dignitas, who is one of the premier teams in the Conquest weeklies that we normally have here, and Rage, one of the premier teams in our arena. This, of course, is what we're going to be doing for this weekend and next weekend. Just a recap, we watched 6 games today. We had a 64-team turnout for our Alienware Arena Cup tournament. There are $10,000 on the line coming up for these next 2 weeks, and very exciting matches to be seen, just like the one we saw here today. I absolutely loved the play coming out of, the best was cool. I really liked watching Laz's play. A lot of times we saw the blink and the fearless, and it was just good enough. And one of my favorite highlights of the entire match was, I think it was Astros was getting away walking into the base. Nope, the blink, fearless into, you know who got the final kill on that? Zapman getting the final kill on the Shibalanki. Absolutely love to watch that. What was your highlight to pick out of that match, Kret?
You know, they didn't take it in the end, but I gotta give it to Rage. They had some really impressive play there in the early game, right?
Yeah.
First, take red, only get 1 buff, give red to probably Scylla was who they gave red to, I would assume. I don't actually remember specifically, but let's assume it's Scylla.
They did.
And then they went straight for the wave. They zoned out Dignitas to attempt to get the minions in the portal. Shadowq dealt with it by jumping in, taking a lot of damage, almost dying, but getting out, and then following up a minute after that play, right? Mm-hmm. You have the Quadra kill.
Yep.
I think that was when Dignitas said, okay,
all right.
They actually are a team that we have to respect. They are a team that we can't take lightly. Let's close this out clean, and they did. There was clean aggression from then on. Dignitas was so aggressive, but they were careful. Lassus would go in and say, give me beads or give me a kill. He got beads most of the time. He got a kill once or twice, and then he left. And they're like, okay, beats down on this target, we can focus them. Or, the jumps down on Neath, we can go on her. They used Lasses as sort of an ability to remove Magi's Blessings, to remove beads, to remove options from Rage, and then they closed in and punished the lack of options. It was beautiful play coming out from Lasses and the rest of his roster.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun to watch Dignitas, and I always like to see these Conquest teams play a little, out of their own element. They're in arena; it's a little bit different. A lot of times we see players play the same stuff that we're used to seeing them. Especially Dignitas did exactly what they would play in the Conquest map, maybe. But I absolutely love to see them play in the arena. And don't worry, you're going to see a lot more of it. Not only are you going to be able to see a lot more of it, but if you sign up on AlienwareArena.com, you can actually sign up to win a pro session with Zapman and Lazes yourself. You also have 4 other options. You have Lobster and Young Bay of TSM fame. They recently just won the $200,000 Smite launch tournament, and then you have Sayo and Suntouch from Cloud9 fame. So you can choose one of those should you win 2 hours underneath the consummate professionals that are those 6 players I just mentioned, and there's plenty of arena action coming up soon. Tomorrow, starting at noon, we're going to be back here, right here, live, watching the Alienware Arena Cup tournament tomorrow. Once again, starting at noon, we're going to pick up right from where we left off. And next weekend, is the same stuff as well. So thanks for hanging out all weekend. Thanks for hanging out all day, and please hang out the rest of the weekend. For Cret, my name is F. Dot. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow.